at the end of his career, I think it was with the Bulls.
Yeah.
He was talking stuff to Jordan. He said the next time they played,
It was
Nick.
It was the Magic guy, Nick
Anderson.
Nick Anderson.
Yeah.
So do you guys know it?
Nick Anderson.
Yeah, Nick
I don't
Anderson
know the
said
story.
45's not
So
23.
do you know the story?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, they met up in the playoffs, and Jordan came back that season. I think like in the middle of the year type deal, and came back, and that was his first playoff series back, and that was when it was Shaquille O'Neal. It was Penny, Nick Anderson,
Scott
Horace Grant was on that team.
Styles. So Horace Grant had
was on that
switched
team.
up because he was on the first three-peat team.
Nick Anderson actually missed 4 straight free throws
He
in the
did.
finals against the Rockets, and they went on to sweep their asses.
He did. Good memory. But yeah, Nick Anderson opening up his mouth, coming down the stretch of a game, feeling froggy, saying 45's not 23. And that man, Michael, showed up the next game with the 23 jersey.
With the 23 jersey on.
That's
One
awesome.
of the coldest things ever. And he ended up playing great. But they ended up losing the series.
Right.
And then he came back the next year and started winning the
And they
championship
got a
again.
three-peat again.
Yeah.
Do you know he wore 3 numbers in the NBA? 23, 45. What was the other number he did wear in an NBA game? Not the Johnny Kilroy number 9 from the Nike commercial. If you remember that. Who's Johnny Kilroy when he was retired?
Yeah.
He had the mustache. He's out there dunking wearing number 9. In a real NBA game.
But he wore 9 for the Olympics, I want to say as well.
Yes, he did.
You're
Yes,
right.
he
Good
did.
call.
But in an NBA game, what's the 3rd number Michael Jordan wore for one game?
So wasn't it because they didn't have his jersey? They physically lost his jersey.
Jersey was stolen
or it
before
got stolen.
tip-off.
Yes.
Oh, he got stolen.
On Valentine's Day in 1990. I remember it well.
Where's that jersey now?
Was it
That's
like
probably-
Wore number 12.
Okay,
I was going
12.
to say 6.
And I don't think there was a name on the back.
Wow.
He
It's
wore
just
12.
a generic bull. It's like what the Nuggets gave us for the
Yes,
media
yes,
game.
for the media game. Yes.
No, there's a fun thing. So I'm with the Houston Texans, and I'm walking in for the game. It's like the first game of the year. It's at home. I go to my locker, and usually the shirt pads are hanging right there, and they have my name wrong. I'm like, dude, I'm not walking out there with Lindsey on. I'm sorry, dude. I'll play with a jersey from up top there in one of those stores, but I'm not putting that jersey on. They had to unclip all the clippings and try to redo this jersey right before the game.
Sewing it right in front of
Sew
you.
it in front of me and everything else.
This
'cause
is
that
at
was
CU or
this
Broncos?
This is with the Houston
Texans.
Texans.
Oh, Texans. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're just dysfunctional. We did everything the wrong way. I've been there the whole campus stuff, and yet you get my name wrong. I can't imagine someone stealing the jersey though.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I wonder where that jersey is now. They ever find it? Is it worth something?
Dude, that's a collector's
right.
item.
Okay, I stole this jersey from Jordan on Valentine's Day in '90.
Oh,
and he had to wear another number.
I was saying the number 12 jersey.
That too.
It's a collector's item.
I was
Yeah.
thinking the one that was stolen
Yes.
from him. Hey guys, got this in the man cave.
Oh my gosh. Hey, real quick before you guys get out of here, you guys were just telling stories
How we got fired.
How you've been fired in
Yeah.
your life. And so I heard this story. I was in an Uber a few years ago going to DIA. And I forget why I asked the guy, I said, man, you probably see some stuff, being an Uber driver. And he said, yeah, I have. He said, but the craziest one, though, he said, I picked up this kid, and he looked like he was in his young 20s. And he said it was first thing in the morning. And he said he threw up before he got in the car. So the Uber driver's watching the guy throw up before he gets into his car. And he goes, it's within 1 second of the kid getting in the car, he goes, it's obvious he is hammered drunk. And this is 7, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Whoa.
And he's going to, he said, I'm going to work. And the guy's like, holy crap, this kid is going to work hammered drunk. And they got close to the drop-off place. But he said when he pulled in, there was multiple different buildings, but it had the big address outside we have, but different facilities within that one address. And he's like, where do I drop you off? And he said, no. The kid said, which one is it? And he's like, this is
That's
the
address.
This is the address. And the Uber driver said, don't you work here? And the kid said, today's my first day.
Oh my gosh. Oh, dude.
And I was like, man, oh man. And I did some crazy stuff when I was younger, dumb stuff, and have shared some stuff with me, and that one's like, I was like, you feel bad for, you actually
It was
feel
like, hey,
bad.
I'll just wait here and take you home. Go in and get this over with.
Yes, you're gonna be coming back.
You're gonna need a ride, right? You're gonna need a
When you
ride.
get fired, I'm your guy.
Back out pretty soon here, buddy.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, luckily I've never been. Have you ever been fired from a job?
Yeah, I mean, you get cut. That's being
Oh, yeah,
fired.
that's
You know what I
fired,
mean?
yeah.
And the first time I thought I was on top of the world, and the first time I want to say was the Houston Texans, and I get a call. They fire you. They usually the day after the game. If you're in the season, they're going to do it the next day, Monday, and they're going to call him and say, "Hey, Phil," and they call him and say, "Hey, man, we want to see you in the front office. Bring your iPad." And
Oh,
Did
so
you know
were
what
like,
was
yeah.
up?
Oh, I like right there. I knew it was bad. We were losing. At that point, I was trying to get traded anyway. And I think for them it was like we couldn't find you a trade partner, or we couldn't find somebody to give us what we wanted. And so the best thing for us to do is just part ways. We're not going to win. You're not having success here. Maybe you can latch on to another team or a playoff team and keep your career going.
I got a
And so,
real
yeah.
dumb question. I've been fired, and you're like, hey, you got fired. You owe me money. I need it right now. Let's go. Pay up. How's that work in the NFL?
I mean, it's just like a job. Like they're gonna let you know, hey, like you're out of here. Like you're gonna go and pack some of your bag stuff. They're gonna put the rest of it in the trash bag, and they're gonna send it home with you with a slip saying that you've been terminated. And so like you have this slip saying that you've been fired and stuff. So
Did
And
you
a
have
trash
any-
bag full of stuff.
all your stuff's in the trash bag with a piece of paper telling you you've been fired for that.
Yeah,
That's
terrible.
and I've seen those big trash
yeah,
bags.
you see it.
That
And
sucks.
did they mail it to your house?
Mail it straight to the house.
Yeah.
It's sitting on your doorstep when you're getting there, and you just sit there. You walk into your house and you're like, damn, I don't have a job.
What about like money owed?
Yeah, I
or
was gonna say,
anything?
did you have money left on your contract?
So in the NFL, when you're on contract, remember you got to go through waivers. So once they part ways with you, you got 24 hours for a team to pick you up. If a team does not pick you up, well, now you're considered a free agent. So either you're gonna find a place and now you can negotiate another contract, or you're done. Like
Wow.
if nobody wants you, you're done.
So the income's just gone.
Ex-
So you didn't have any money. You didn't have any guaranteed money left on your contract.
So my guaranteed money was there, but I had to wait for somebody to either claim me or not for them to pay it out.
Oh,
So
okay.
I end up getting claimed by the Dolphins literally with 30 minutes left.
No
I
way.
had a deal done with the Chiefs. I was getting ready to go to Kansas City,
Ooh.
and I'm sitting there like,
Talk about
you know
a
what?
dagger.
I'm like, baby, get your stuff. We're going to a Super Bowl. That's all that matters. We're going to KC. It's closer to home. My wife's packing my bags with all the long sleeve shirts. Agent calls me 30 minutes before it's time to kind of negotiate the contract with Kansas City, and they're like, "Hey, big dog, Miami claimed you." Well, at that time, Miami was ass. We were in the toilet bowl. We got beat by Miami. It was bad. So I'm sitting there upset, pouting, which I shouldn't. I'm in the NFL. I'm making some money. Like, why am I pouting? I'm going to Miami. And I'm like, why would Miami pick me up knowing that they're not going anywhere? I'm a vet. All right, they should be looking for young players. They should be looking for a higher draft pick. And that's where I got with Brian Flores. We get there and we go 6 or 7 games straight. Where we win 6, 7 games straight. We needed 2 more wins and we were going to be in the playoffs. We needed to beat the Tennessee Titans with Mike Vrabel.
Oh yeah.
And we have to remember at that time, Derrick Henry was hurt. So who was there? Adrian Peterson and Devontae Foreman.
Yeah.
So
Oh my
we're
gosh,
like,
I forgot about
yeah,
that.
so
Wow.
I'm
That's
like, okay,
cool.
we should be able to beat Adrian Peterson and Foreman, and then we're going to beat New England because for some odd reason, Miami always puts up a good fight with New England, which we did. We ended up beating New England, but we could not beat old-ass Adrian Peterson.
Really?
They ran rampant against us, and Foreman, who busted a couple long runs.
remember
and we
that
got
game.
Beat. So
Wow.
we didn't end up making the playoffs.
AP might have
because
some
of one
game
game.
incentives, and he needs that dough.
And that was actually the
He
year
does
that
need
Sean
that dough.
Payton was crying. Sean was crying because of the COVID. And if you remember, all his quarterbacks are out.
Right.
Just like the exact same thing
yeah.
happened to
Yeah.
us in Denver when
Ian
we played
Book.
Sean.
Ian Book.
Ian Book
Yep.
from the practice squad. It was a Monday night game, and we were excited. We're like, okay, this is this is gonna be an easy one. They're gonna run the ball. They don't have a quarterback. We're gonna get this win and have a chance to go to the playoffs.
And I thought I had it bad getting fired from Walmart. That was way tougher.
All right, man. Great stuff. Great crosstalk there. Is there a scenario where the built-in advantage for the Broncos actually backfires? We'll talk about it next.
As the top seed in the AFC, are the Broncos being shown enough respect?
This team can play with anyone. They can play with anyone. So we can't forget this is a 14-3 football team also. So I think some people have forgotten that. But I'm fired up, and I like this team, and I like their chances this week.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Between groceries, travel, and higher prices, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, especially if you're already relying on credit cards to cover the basics. If that debt is piling up, you're not alone. If you're a homeowner, you might have considered reaching out to American Financing, but hesitated because you don't want to give up your low mortgage rate. That's why American Financing created the Smart Equity Loan, a simple, smart way to get your finances back on track without giving up your low mortgage rate. Unlike a HELOC, which can fluctuate with the market, the Smart Equity Loan offers a fixed rate, so you'll have one predictable monthly payment. It lets you use your home's equity to pay off high-interest debt, free up your cash flow, and still keep your existing mortgage intact. There are no upfront fees to find out how much you can save. Call 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Will?
When I was 50, my whole life fell apart. I lost my job, I lost my wife, I lost the house, I lost pretty much everything except for my life. When the IRS came calling, I just didn't have it in me. I felt like Wile E. Coyote, just waiting for that IRS anvil to drop.
Then Will found tax relief advocates.
I heard their advertisement on the radio, I wrote down the number, and I made the call that changed everything. The IRS gave me a bill for $40,000. Tax relief advocates got that down to $3,200. I've paid 9 cents on the dollar. Now that's a great deal in anybody's book.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Will did and call TRA for a consultation.
But for me, the real win is I got my life back.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-488-2578. 800-488-2578. That's 800-488-2578.
Meet Morgan Jones. Morgan is about to step into a world unknown to most, thanks to Progressive's Renters Insurance, a place of fresh linens and turn-down service. You see, Morgan temporarily vacated her apartment and has gone to a hotel because a pipe burst in her apartment. A pipe that made her sense of reality and apartment ceiling all come crashing down. Luckily, Morgan checked into Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. Stay up to date on the Broncos and the latest news from around the league with our NFL insider James Palmer. Exclusively on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Mondays on The Rundown with Richie Carney. Tuesday afternoons on The Drive. And Friday mornings on Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth. All season long. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. DenverSports.com and the Denver Sports app. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
Off and rolling here on a Tuesday, January 13th. And man, oh man, oh man, oh man, it's getting real. As the days continue to fall off the calendar, we're going to see the Denver Broncos play for the first time in 13 days. Ultimately, once we get to Sunday in a rematch of the Buffalo Bills, Mr. Phillip Lindsay, what up?
Woo! What's going on? It is getting real. It's getting hot up in here, but we're going to leave our clothes on, Zach. You know, we're not going to do all the sexiness and stuff. Like, we'll leave that for another day. But, man, it's coming around the corner. You know, the Denver Broncos have an opportunity of a lifetime. They have an opportunity to do something they have not done in a very long time. Win a playoff game.
Yeah.
Win a playoff game, move on to the next round, and then if they can win that one, get into the Super Bowl. It's real, man. It's finally here, and they're going up against a banged-up Bills team. A banged-up Bills team, so you have to love it if you're Denver.
Yeah, and you say a banged-up Bills team, you know, Shavers, the wide receiver, we just got confirmation here within the last, I don't know what you call it, an hour or so, something like that. Blew his knee out, done for the year. That's in addition to Gabe Davis, who blew his ACL out on Sunday. He's done for the year. From a pass-catching standpoint, the Buffalo Bills are about as mediocre of a pass-catching group that you'll find in the divisional round of, like, a typical playoff team. I mean, they are on the furthest end of the spectrum. Yeah. Now, run game's a different deal. Quarterback's a different deal. But the wide receiver position specifically, man, organizationally, the Bills have not prioritized it.
No. And if I was someone like Josh Allen, I'd be very upset. Like, we're sitting here year after year, so close to the Super Bowl, but yet not an elite pass catcher. Now, of course, Stephon Diggs was one, but then, you know, that relationship ended in a divorce. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on. You know more about that than I do. So, yeah, for Josh Allen, you have to be frustrated. But I will say this also. Watching that game and watching Brendan Cooks, because he was my teammate, and I know how hard that man works. He works so hard that the team, the coaches would have to force him to have days off. He still has it, and he was able to show it a couple times during that game against Jacksonville where it's like, if you don't respect his speed, he is going to make some tough catches. He is going to move some chains, and he's been there before. He has had the experience. He has been in Super Bowls with the New England Patriots and Tom Brady, and that's somebody that I think Josh Allen's going to have to lean on. So if you're Pastor Tan, I would be traveling with Cookie. That's his nickname. Brendan Cooks, his name is Cookie.
Well, I actually want to talk about the Seatan and the cornerback dynamic a little bit later, and if not later today, tomorrow, because I have to get a thought out of my head as it relates to that room. We're going to hear from Sean Payton here this afternoon for the first time in a while, okay? And we'll have that audio fresh out of the oven for you. You're not going to want to miss that here the week of the game. I wanted to talk, though, you know, I think one of the biggest dynamics, and maybe it's the biggest. I haven't made my mind up on it yet, and it's sort of semantics where I have it, ranked. But
make sure you don't regret whatever you're going to say after we talk about it.
No, I'm not going to regret this, because we need to talk about it, and it's an age-old conversation, to be quite frank. But I think one of the most meaningful advantages that the Denver Broncos have on Saturday afternoon, which, by the way, that throws a wrench into everything on my own front, because we'll talk about it. Because I'm supposed to be coaching my seven-year-old basketball team 90 minutes before kickoff of the Bills Broncos.
Zach. See, this is why I wanted it at night. I thought I was going to bring the good juju in there. They said, you know what, screw Phil. We don't care what he has to say or what he thinks. We're going with the early game.
This game deserves primetime. This game deserves primetime. I don't. That's a whole nother conversation. But I think one of the biggest advantages that the Denver Broncos have on Saturday afternoon is that they have the rest that they do, and the Bills have, and we talked about this yesterday, the Broncos have the longest rest you can possibly have before a playoff game, and the Bills have the shortest rest that you can possibly have before a playoff game. And knowing how banged up, that group is, the quarterback is, and just the wear and tear on the body of playing a physical playoff game and then asking a road team to go on the road to altitude on a short week. I mean, I don't think you can overstate the advantage in that department for the Broncos. But we didn't really talk about yesterday when bringing this up, the age-old rest versus rust question. The question begs to be asked, I mean, could the time off hurt this Denver Broncos offense specifically?
Ooh, Okay, so specifically we're talking about the offense. Zach, I've been sitting there thinking about this whole time. And being a player that has been playing, that has had time off, and has the bye, then you come back and you hit the ground running. It can help you if you have the right mindset. It can help you if you have the right players around you that have done it before. But see, the issue with the Denver Broncos is there's not a lot of players on this team that have been in these situations, that have had this long bye and have had success in the playoffs. I fear that the Denver Broncos are going to start slow, specifically offense, because of how much time they did have off. Now, of course, it does help that you get some extra time to heal your body. But if you're the Buffalo Bills and you have a little momentum where you just beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, a damn good team on the road, yes, you're banged up, but you're in a groove. You know what you have to do. You've been there before. You're going to try to throw the first punch where you have someone like the Denver Broncos who may try to fill it out. You can't fill it out against a team that, my guessing in their head, they have nothing to lose. They're like, man, we have nothing to lose. We're not supposed to be here because we don't necessarily have the team like we have had in the past. But the Denver Broncos, 14-3, number 1 seed, they have everything to lose. They're going to play tight. They don't have the experience. And this is where I fear for the Denver Broncos, where the long break, the rest is going to hurt them. They're going to be really, really rusty coming out the gate.
See, and you know, I wasn't sure how you were going to view that, but like it needs to be said as well, you know. And someone on the RamosLaw.com text line, 303-713-1043, someone says, could this offense really be much worse? I'd rather take the rest. To that texter's point, they went into this incredible rest period disjointed offensively. We know how it looked week 18 against the Chargers. We know how it looked on Christmas in week 17 against Kansas City. We know how it looked against Jacksonville week 16 in the largest lopsided loss of the season. So you were not playing good football going into this rest for about a month approximately leading into the rest, and now you're going to have 2 weeks off. And I'm just wondering whether that lack of, I'm going to say rhythm, but they didn't have the rhythm going in.
But you can say a little bit of momentum. I'm 14-3, found a way to win that game. You're feeling good about yourself. So there's some momentum. Defensively, for sure.
Sure.
You're coming off a really good performance. You know, had a couple interceptions, took one to the house for a pick 6. Like, you're feeling good about yourself. Offensively, you probably wish that you would have had another game to go out there and show that you are ready to play. But, hey, you had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. My concern is you have Sean Payton that likes to overthink things. Sean Payton that wants to be the smartest guy in the room and is probably one of the smartest guys in the room. But when you start to overthink things and make things too complicated, you get in these games and you mess up. You have to remember, this is just about football. Can you execute? Can you win your one-on-one battles? And can you let Bo Nix just play free, and go out there and just let it loose?
Really fun show planned for you guys today. We are going to attack this thing full steam ahead. James Palmer in studio for the first time this year, and really the only time since we've been working with him. That'll be at 4:45. You are not going to want to miss that. We're going to go 40 minutes straight during that sequence, commercial-free, as we do around that time of the afternoon. And we're going to hear from Sean Payton. Like I said at the top of this segment, we're going to hear from Sean Payton for the first time in quite a while here, probably within the next hour or so. So hang tight on that. And then where we go now is the Broncos' best advantage versus the Buffalo Bills on the sideline. We'll talk about it next.
After an action-packed wild card weekend, Bo Nix will go head-to-head with Josh Allen with a trip to the AFC Championship on the line. Broncos country, the postseason has officially begun. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Hey, what's up, guys? Zach here on behalf of the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, talking to you men out there about how you're feeling on this Tuesday. How's the start of your week? Are you attacking this week with great vigor? You have great energy? Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe that energy is lacking. Maybe you didn't sleep great last night. You haven't been sleeping great. Those sleep patterns are off, and that's got you feeling sluggish. You're dealing with brain fog. You don't have the energy to drag yourself to the gym like you used to. And when you do drag yourself there, it feels exactly like that, a drag. You're not as productive as you once were. Guys, All this stuff can be tied back to symptoms of low testosterone, which happens to us men. You didn't do anything wrong. As we get older, it happens. But go take that low T quiz at RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. Find out for sure. It's a simple 10-question quiz. Yes or no answers, takes 2 minutes. But from there, you can schedule a consult with Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. They'll draw your blood. They'll have the results within 30 minutes. A Colorado licensed medical provider will review those results with you. Discuss your options. There's no pressure. Cost of the appointment is only $99. That includes a medical consult, AT, and PSA test. And if you sign up for testosterone treatment the day of that appointment, your visit is completely free. Fellas, we have one life to live. Don't spend yours wondering if you're suffering from low testosterone. Go take that low T quiz at RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Peyton Manning here. Throughout my football career, staying healthy was a big priority, but bumps, bruises, and injuries were part of the game. And for me, it's not just the clinical excellence and expertise that sets a medical team apart. It's also the compassion, kindness, and empathy they show. At Common Spirit Health, healing is quality care and human kindness. And my friends at Common Spirit are teaming up with their partners to spread human kindness and create healthy communities. Common Spirit Health. Hello, human kindness.
What's up, everybody? It's Cecil. You'd love new windows. I'd love new windows. That's why I went to Window Nation. Why? Because I live in Roxborough. I deal with a ton of wind and cold winter months. Well, that means the higher heat bills. I don't want that. Well, how do you fight that? You fight it with new windows. Right now, Window Nation's buy 4, get 4 windows free sale. You can get them with 0 down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. It's time. Don't wait to put an end to your window problems. Visit windownation.com now. It's windownation.com.
Dan Jacobs with 303 Law 4040. Hey, I got a real cool story I wanted to share with you. Many years ago, my lovely wife Kimberly wrote down a prayer that said, God, make me a lighthouse so I can be a light to others when they're in a dark place. She filed that card away both in her heart and her prayer box. And then about 3 years ago, I asked my wife to leave her job in corporate America and come help me open up 303 Law 4040. And she absolutely loves it. She really feels like helping other people when they are hurting and don't know what to do is her calling. So here's the really cool part. A few weeks ago, a client came in to pick up a check and said to Kim, I really want to thank you. You were a lighthouse to me when I was in a dark place. It gave me chills when Kim told me that. If you've been hurt in an accident, it really is our honor to help you in your time of need. Call us anytime at 303 Law 4040, where you always get to speak directly with me or my lovely wife, Kimberly. That's 303 Law 4040. Go ahead, save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. It's 303 Law 4040.
The Stock Show is a staple of Denver. For 66 years, so is Siltahar Motors, Colorado's most trusted dealership. You don't last 66 years by cutting corners. You do it by keeping your word, by treating customers like neighbors, by earning trust, not just asking for it. That's the Siltahar way. Always has been. This Stock Show season gets 0% financing and leases under $300 a month on the best trucks and SUVs in Denver. Call, click STHmotors.com, or come by Highway 36 in Wadsworth. Either way, you get everything you want out of a dealership at Siltahar Motors.
The West isn't just a place, it's a feeling. And this January 10th through the 25th, the National Western Stock Show presented by Common Spirit Health brings the heart of the West to Denver. So saddle up for 16 days of rodeo action, family fun, and championship livestock. This is where tradition meets excitement. This is who we are. We are the West. Tickets available at nationalwestern.com.
Hey guys, it's Mark Schlereth. I just made one of the best decisions of my life. I got rid of my glasses. I went to Cutarelli Vision and had refractive lens exchange, RLE. I wore glasses for distance vision, but I got to that inevitable point in life where I was always needing those reading glasses just to do about anything, and half the time I couldn't find them. Seeing menus, texting, reading my computer, or studying film, it was a struggle. But now I see the world perfectly, near and far, without any glasses, thanks to Cutarelli Vision RLE, the perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the cherry on top. You'll never develop a cataract. Dr. Cutarelli is Colorado's most experienced with over 90,000 vision correction procedures. You can trust him to know if it's the right time for you and RLE. Schedule your free Zoom consultation at coloradorle.com. Cutarelli Vision, RLE, no readers, glasses, or contacts, or cataracts. coloradorle.com.
Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, develops better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. Info at positivecoach.org.
Denver Sports Snapshot.
Tonight on 104.3 HD2, CSU women's basketball faces Fresno State with pregame starting at 6:30.
104.3 The Fan. We are Denver Sports.
You're listening to The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Is the Broncos' best advantage on Saturday afternoon hosting the Buffalo Bills not actually between the painted white lines, but actually on the sidelines?
What in the world are you talking about, man? On the sidelines?
I want to talk about who's got the edge between Sean McDermott and Sean Payton. I think we know what our answer to that question is. How far does that dynamic go on a game day?
See, this is a good question because now we're looking at Sean Payton as the head coach, who is different than Sean Payton, the play caller, but we're going to have to put both of them together at some point. But Sean Payton as a head coach, his resume speaks for itself. The playoff appearances that he has had with the New Orleans Saints and even here in Denver, the second year of his tenure here. All right, getting Bo Nix, a young rookie quarterback, and going to the playoffs in his first year. That's hard to do. All right, Sean Payton winning a Super Bowl, being gutsy, having an onside kick. All right, when it comes to management, for the most part, and I'm taking Sean's resume just from all his years. For the most part, very smart coach that's calculated and is going to make sure that he does things the right way, or sometimes he'll go with his gut. But at times his gut has proven him right. Because you have to be disciplined, but also be aggressive at the same time when it matters the most and at the perfect times. And Sean has been able to balance that. With McDermott, there's a lot of flaws when you have a superstar quarterback. You've had in the past a couple really good defenses. You're a defensive-minded coach, and yet you can't get to the promised land. You can't find a way to get to the mountaintop. Winning gets hard. But getting there with a quarterback that we all know that is one of the best in the league, you have to do it. Or at some point you would think you would be released and fired if you're Sean McDermott. So therefore, saying all that, it has to be Sean Payton with the upper hand because of his experience, because of what he has done with the Denver Broncos team, because he's aggressive, and because the team is just like him. They don't give a you-know-what. You are who your coach is. So your team, your little team, Z, is just like you, fragile, frail, cries all the time.
Oh, we do have kids that cry. And I think my son is like the leader in the clubhouse.
No, but like you are who your coaches are.
Yeah.
All right, and with this team, it's going to be a well-coached team with the Denver Broncos. They're going to be attention to detail, very detailed. Now they got to make sure they clean up the penalties in the playoffs, but they're going to play hard for 60 minutes of football. It has to be Sean Payton has the upper hand versus Sean McDermott.
Yeah, this one, well, not to...
And you know more about Sean McDermott, so please.
And look, sometimes now this week is different because they're playing each other in the postseason. But I take it you realize sometimes when I talk about the Bills here, especially this season, like kind of down on them, like
some doubt,
and sort of like you know how like growing up you could be like you could say to a friend like, man, my mom's being a B word, right? But if your friend's like, dude, your mom's being a B word, you're like, whoa, no, whoa. Yeah, it's like you can, you can talk crap, And
that's like your little brother. Like I can beat my little brother up, but if anybody else touches him,
right. So I'm pretty hard. I was pretty hard on the Bills this year, just because they have been just a letdown postseason after postseason after postseason. So I'm pretty hard on them. But Sean McDermott is a good coach. Okay, he's a good coach. He's got a better regular season winning percentage than Bill Belichick. But he always seems to find a way. And look, he's the face of the staff. So, like, when you kick it the way they kick it in the 13-second game and you allow Tyreek Hill a chance to return it, like, well, that's special teams, but, like, you're the head coach. So, like, you wear a lot of that. And so
you can override anything.
You can.
You can tell them, hey, this is what I want done, and they're going to have to do it.
Right.
Which is why, by the way, John Elway saying he didn't draft Josh Allen because his offensive coordinator at that time didn't like the decision. I'm like, that's not how this works.
Come on.
But anyway, that's a different story for a different day. So for one reason or another, there seems to be a massive mistake involving Sean McDermott in these high leverage moments where he just mishandles it and misplays it. And so
didn't he do it just this other the playoff game?
I thought it could have cost him by him scoring with, like, I think it was 1 minute and 3 seconds left from the 1 inch line instead of, keeping it on the 1 inch line, snapping it, and putting
a knee,
something like that, and leaving Jacksonville no time left as opposed to giving them a minute left on the clock. And that hurt them, by the way, at the end of the first half. They had a huge gash play down the middle that set up a field goal.
Yeah.
That eventually got missed anyway. So this has been debated here, whether you take the points in that moment. Sean McDermott was asked about it in the press conference, and he said, man, I was the first person on our staff to say, we're not going to score here first. But then ultimately, after talking about it with his coaches, he decided, okay, we're gonna score it.
Oh, so now he's throwing his coaches under the table now, or under the bus.
In like a roundabout way, but it was a topic of discussion. So anyway, Sean Payton, just historically, has a better postseason reputation than Sean McDermott. That's what happens when you've been the number 1 seed 3 times, you've won a Super Bowl. But that's not to say that the Bills, because like what I'm watching them do defensively in the pass game specifically, it's pretty unique and creative, and we can get to it a little bit later or tomorrow. But the advantage should be Sean Payton. I mean, long story long, like the advantage should be to the Denver Broncos, Sean Payton over Sean McDermott definitively.
Well, see, this here's the issue though. Now you have to you add in Sean Payton, the offensive play caller, and how the offense here in Denver, it hasn't been the sexiest. It hasn't been the most explosive offense. Now, methodically, they move down the field, but once they get to the red zone, they have struggled. Can Sean find a way to be the Sean Payton of the New Orleans Saints, where he was very creative, and it seemed like you couldn't stop them Saints from scoring touchdowns, from the run game to the pass game with the tight ends, the receivers, the special teams. They were finding ways to score points at a high level, at a fast rate. Like, it was insane to watch, and that's why I wanted to be a part of him when I was playing. I wanted to be a part of that.
Sure.
With Sean is like, can you do that? Can you out-scheme McDermott and the Buffalo Bills, who struggle stopping the run, but they get some takeaways? They find ways to get takeaways to give Josh Allen a short field, and we know if you give Josh Allen that short field, he's going to make you pay.
Well, we'll see how it plays out this weekend. But for me, a matchup like this one is where Sean Payton shows why he's an $18 million head coach.
Show him the money, coach.
It's a matchup like this one this weekend at home with the built-in rest against a team that has done nothing but fail in the postseason over and over and over and over again. All right? I want to see it. I want to see it on display.
Definitely. But what I always say, players make plays, players win games. Those players out there are going to have to help Sean out. Sean's going to scheme up a couple really well-designed plays. I believe that. But can you execute? Can Bo Nix connect with Cortland Sutton? Can R.J. Harvey or Jaleel McLaughlin bust one when you have a couple creative run plays? Players make plays, players win games.
Sean McDermott was not going to attempt to give any bulletin board material to the Denver Broncos. He was asked about Denver yesterday. This is what he said.
Yeah, I'm sure that feels good for them, getting that rest, getting that number 1 seed, and they've earned it. They've got a great team, all 3 phases, very well-coached team, and I have a lot of respect for Coach Payton, and he's done it at a high level, Super Bowl winning coach. So, we're gonna go out there and have to make sure we're rested, through the week as we try and prepare as well on the short week here, and we're gonna have to play better than we did this past weekend in order to win.
So massive amounts of respect from McDermott to Sean Payton to the Denver Broncos. I expect the exact thing to be reciprocated from Sean Payton here within the hour, talking about the Buffalo Bills. We'll take that audio right out of the oven for you and give it to you hot and ready here within this next hour. Okay, we'll take a brief break from the Broncos here because last night, Deion Sanders and the CU Buffs were delivered a crucial blow to the program. Man, we'll talk about this coming up next.
have the Colorado Avalanche officially put the Central Division out of reach.
The Colorado Avalanche have not only already wrapped up their division, they've wrapped up the West. They are going to be the number 1 seed throughout the entire Western Conference playoffs. Just stay healthy and be ready to go come playoff time, because this thing's a wrap, baby, for the regular season.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now, the company's changed. Or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So, what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan today, 720-204-8100. That's 720-204-8100.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. See website for details.
Hey Broncos country, it's Terrell Davis here. It's a new year. It's time to work on a new you.
At Fitness Gallery, we have deals everywhere, up to 50% off. Visit one of Fitness Gallery's 7 convenient locations from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins. We have you covered.
You know what people tell us all the time at Soda Weight Loss? I look and feel 10 years younger.
I feel fantastic, and I feel like I'm back to where I felt kind of in the old days. Lost a lot of that belly fat.
I mean, people tell me you look great and you look like a new person.
I am down 50 pounds in 11 weeks, and this program works. The pounds melt off. It's amazing.
Right now, when you join Soda Weight Loss, your partner joins for free. Call 866-800-SODA or visit sodaweightloss.com. That's SOTA weightloss.com.
Hey, Mom. It's me. Oh my gosh, you'll never believe what I just opened for Valentine's Day. A sapphire ring from Helzberg. Just like the one I lost years ago. Remember how excited I was when you gave it to me? I cannot believe you remembered that story. I guess you were right. I really found the one.
This Valentine's Day, create a moment that means something with up to 40% off gifts at Helzberg. Shop in store or at helzberg.com.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Hey, what's up? It's Zach here. And if you're looking for your new go-to spot in Centennial, the Basketball Social House is it. Award-winning food and drinks, an incredible weekend brunch, and a brand new sports bar entertainment space where you can catch every Colorado game. Even if you're not playing, it's a great hang. But if you are, their private basketball suites are unreal. Full court, lounge, music, TVs, the whole setup. And because you're hearing this from me, get half off your first private basketball suite rental. Just use code HALFOFFHOOPS. Trust me, you're going to love this place.
Catch Telestrator Tuesday weekly on Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, where Stink or Stoke dive into the past weekend's games with a coach's eye, using insights into what went right and wrong on critical plays. Telestrator Tuesdays, powered by Colorado Credit Union. Love where you live, love where you bank.
Tune into Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, Wednesdays at 9:15 to hear ESPN NFL analyst Dan Orlovsky break down Bo Nix and the Broncos every week during football season. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan, DenverSports.com, and the Denver Sports app. It's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
last night, Deion Sanders and the CU Buffs were delivered a crucial blow to the program. And, man, I mean this. And this caught me off guard. I'm curious how caught off guard you were, all right? But when it came down that left tackle, former freshman All-American, and this past year, second team All Big 12, I think the best player on the team.
Yes, hands down, especially now. Mario Miller hit the transfer portal. Draylon Miller hit the transfer portal. Juju, he's still unknown. We don't know what he's truly about as a quarterback, a starting quarterback for the Buffs. The only guy that was solidified is what's in the bag, Jordan Seatan. All right, a 5-star commit who's been playing for 2 years, who has done a hell of a job, who is going to go to the NFL. I believe right now he's a top 10 draft pick. And if
top 10?
Top 10. He's a left tackle.
I think he's a first rounder. I don't know if he's that high, but whatever.
Yeah. We'll discuss that later. I mean, and he has time to develop. And so now maybe he goes somewhere else, a bigger school, bigger name, Texas, Ohio State, Florida, and he becomes a top 10, top 5 draft pick because of that. Zach, I did not know what I was in store for when I opened up Twitter yesterday, or X.
I think I sent it to you guys. Yeah.
And I'm like, this has to be a joke. This has to be a joke. You mean Jordan Seatan has been advocating for players to stay. I thought that he was the guy that was going to ride for Coach Prime. And yet, my man's out the door, hit the transfer portal.
Man, how about that?
Midnight mail in the middle of the night.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of like that because here's the thing. And Dante, maybe you know this. I think the transfer portal opened on January 2nd, I want to say. And then it closes, though, on like the 15th or the 14th. I mean, basically, like, we are 1 or 2 days away from the transfer portal closing because it was only open for 2 weeks. So, and maybe it's the 16th. We'll find out for sure here in a second. But it's one of these things where, man, he comes as a freshman, kills it, and it is the 16th. Thank you, Dante. So he waited. He waited quite a while. And when it was this quiet, see, from what I read, I thought there was speculation initially that he could hit the portal.
Yeah.
Maybe. And then when he didn't, and a week and a half goes by that the portal's open and you don't hear anything from Jordan Seatan, and he does it with 2-3 days left of the portal before it closes.
Well, he's tweeting some of his old teammates or players that he knows. There was a tackle that was leaving Ohio State, and he tweets back at him, hey, like, come here.
And that was recently?
Recently.
Wow.
And now it's like both these guys are probably going to go somewhere else.
Man.
Go get the bag, see?
Man. And so allegedly, according to a booster out of the state of Florida, Jordan Seatan has an asking price of $2.5 million to play for your school this year.
2.5.
I mean, goodness gracious. And if that's what you're asking for, you know he's not going to get it up in Boulder.
Not right now.
Not right now.
Nope.
I mean, so I have no idea how this is going to end up because he's got to make his decision the next 2 days where he's going.
I mean, if you're jumping into the transfer portal, you already know where you're probably going to go. My guessing is he has 2 or 3 teams that are bidding for him. So he's trying to get the most out of it. Maybe it's 2.8. The next one's 2.9. Maybe someone's willing to give him $3 million. Like, it's insane. But I will say this. If that was my kid, Z, and somebody offered him $3 million at 21 years old, son, go get the bag. Go get the bag because you don't know how this football stuff is going to end up. But you do know that you're playing at a high level right now. You're doing well. You have a chance to start your life with $3 million.
And really, that's on top of what he's made this past 2 years.
Exactly.
I mean, the kid drives a Maybach. I saw him at the Four Seasons. Drives a Maybach.
He drives a Maybach.
I'm not kidding. So, yeah, and by the way, let me correct something I just said.
Uh-huh.
You have like 2 or 3 more days to hit the portal. You can commit to somewhere after that. So I said, hey, he's got 2 or 3 days to decide. That's not true. I misspoke there.
So, Zach, you know what needs to happen now? Because now it's messing with my Buffs. We got to change things. Things have to change. We might as well do it NFL style. From a cap to free agency to contracts being like 2 years.
The contract one is going to be relevant here in the next couple of years.
Contracts, 2 years. You can't touch another team or talk to another coach until the 2 years are up. And then you go into a free agency period. That's the transfer portal. Like, that's something that has to be thought about now. Expanding the college football playoffs, I'm okay with 24 teams. Let's do that. I mean, but come on, man. Put a cap on this. Put a cap on it.
Well, here's the thing. It speaks to the larger issue that I've been talking about with CU for a while. They don't have money.
Yeah.
They don't have the NIL bag to give that Jordan Seatan is looking for. And so they have to go about this differently. All right? So you're not really in a meaningful way. And it may work out with one or two kids, but in general, in wholesale, you're not going after the same type of player that is going to these elite programs.
Yeah.
Those guys are all getting the bag. So you have got to get creative. And I think they have got creative. I've liked their approach of going to the group of 5 schools and getting these all-conference kids that are not at the Power 5 level and basically giving them a promotion to the Power 5 level or Power 4 level, however you want to say it.
But see, now this is where I fear. I fear for Juju now.
Sure.
And the reason why I fear for Juju, not this year, because Juju doesn't have enough on tape to transfer out and somebody pay him. Who's going to pay him? Nobody. Not right now. But if Juju does what I think and a lot of people out there think he can do, and he goes out there, wins some games, and maybe they're bowl eligible and does well and looks really good.
I mean, bowl eligible? Is this where we're at with the Buffs? Deion Sanders, a top 5 highest paid coach, and we're looking for bowl eligibility? That means 6-6, Phil.
Z, they don't have the money. They can't buy the players like Texas Tech and get that ass kicked in the playoffs. They don't have it. So unless they're gonna go out there and find these guys, which it seems like they have been, and really coach them up.
We'll see, because I was told that last year as well.
Did you not say you liked their approach?
I did like their approach. I do
So
like their current approach.
Their current approach this year is a little bit different.
It would be my approach, honestly.
Coach these players up. Try to win some games. But it's hard to sit here and say you're going to compete with these teams when they're able to pay people $2.5 million.
So it just brings me to a question. What does Deion Sanders do at a high level if he's unable to bring in top recruits? Because that was his whole thing.
Well, come on, Zach. He is able to bring in the top recruits. He just can't pay them. So if this was just like, hey, the money's out of it, I guarantee we would have all the recruits. But because you don't have the money to
secure
these players?
Correct. But isn't he supposed to bridge the gap because he's Deion Sanders? Don't people want to come play for him?
Why? Kirk Cignetta's a hell of a coach. But the reason why he's getting ready to be able to reload is because they have money over there.
But he's currently has 0 5-stars, just like the Buffs.
Those 5 stars, and you know this just like I do, those guys traveled with him. They're seniors and juniors. There's
a lot of them
them
did from James Madison,
but
though.
that changes. James Madison is a hell of a program.
that no one talked about before Cignetti got there.
So we don't know. Uncle Kirk had a senior-oriented team.
Yeah, no, he does.
So what does it look like when all those seniors are gone?
All I'm trying to say is there's no excuses this year for Deion Sanders. I don't want to hear about the excuses in advance. I don't want to hear it. You're a top 5 paid coach. You're a top 5 paid coach.
I'm gonna remember this because we're getting ready to talk about the Bills now. There's no excuses, right?
No.
All right.
There's no excuses for anyone.
All right. Not even if you're banged up.
It's big boy football. No.
Okay.
Come on, man. It's the NFL playoffs.
Money still talks. And you know that's something that the Buffs don't have.
You know who also does a lot of talking? Deion Sanders.
So
now it's time for the walking. Where's
the talking been?
Dude, it's been 10 seconds of silence because
10 seconds? It's been longer than 10 seconds.
He doesn't have a leg to stand on. Almost literally.
No. Oh, no. No. Oh. Z. I'm going to have to walk you out tonight.
If the Broncos are going to knock off Buffalo, one essential thing on offense has to flip year over year, and we'll talk about it next.
Does Sean Payton have a few tricks up his sleeve for the Buffalo Bills?
It is time for you to pull out the bag of tricks. It's time for you to show Buffalo something that they hadn't seen all season long, and even going back to last year with Bo Nix. There are plays, and I believe it's Marvin Mims plays, that you can put out there for the Broncos that Buffalo hasn't seen, and it's to your advantage to do that this week.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
What's going on, everybody? Phillip Lindsay here with the one and only Williams Jewelers. And guys, it's a brand new year, and I know there's at least 50 of you listening to me right now who are thinking about popping that question here soon. and you know you need a diamond if that's the case. So let me save you some time and money by telling you something as simple as this. You need to go see my jeweler, Williams Jewelers, for that perfect diamond engagement ring, or maybe you're celebrating a milestone or finally doing something big for yourself. So this is where it all begins for you at Williams Jewelers. This new year, imagine the finest jewelry legends all in one store together, making you feel just like family, and their service is going to reflect that. So come shop the finest loose diamonds in Denver. They have every size, shape, and price range you can imagine, and the largest selection of engagement ring settings I've ever set eyes on. And not only are they going to share the secret to the business with you, but they're going to give you the best price in Colorado, guaranteed. So why wouldn't you want to create moments and memories for yourself and the ones you love by going to Williams Jewelers, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche, Denver's first family of fine jewelers, located in Sheer Creek North on 3rd Avenue and also in Inglewood at Broadway and Bellevue. And don't forget to mention my name, Phillip Lindsay, when you step through one of those doors.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Mike Rowe here with a fun fact. Did you know that 50% of the air that you breathe inside your home comes from your crawl space? Yeah. Whether your crawl space is wet, musty, or your floors are bouncy, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to repair your crawl space. Schedule a free inspection with Groundworks, the foundation and waterproofing experts.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
When you've been serving Colorado as long as I have, you see a lot of new law firms come and go. Many of them aren't even from here. They don't know Colorado law the way we do. I'm Rob Wilhite of the Wilhite Law Firm. For 47 years, we've been fighting and winning for Coloradans. This is our home. We care about our community, and we care about the safety of every resident who lives here. So if you've been injured and need real Colorado experience on your side, call the Wilhite Law Firm, 303-GOOD-LAW. The Wilhite Law Firm. Experience you can trust, results you can count on.
2026 is shaping up to be an amazing year to buy a home in Colorado. If you've been dreaming about getting into your first place, upgrading for more space, or downsizing for a simpler lifestyle, now is a smart time to start planning. And the first step is easy. Get pre-approved. With American Financing, you can get it done in 24 hours or less, so you'll know exactly what you can afford before you start shopping. Rates have been dropping, home prices are steady, and more homes are hitting the market. You could score the right home at the right price and lock in a monthly payment that fits your budget without stretching yourself thin. And unlike renting, every payment you make goes toward your future, not your landlord's. And here's a misconception we love to bust. You do not need 20% down. Many buyers purchase with as little as 3% down. So if home ownership is on your 2026 goals list, let's make it happen. Call American Financing, Colorado's home for home loans, at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Men, the new year is here, and if you're like many of us, you're ready to improve your health. But if you're feeling low energy, not sleeping well, or not seeing results in the gym, keeping that resolution can be tough. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if those symptoms sound familiar, we can likely help. They often point to low testosterone, and treating low T is what we do. But this year, we're also helping men go further with 4 targeted body composition plans featuring growth hormone peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more, designed to boost energy, support metabolism, enhance recovery, and accelerate fat loss. With our low T treatments combined with our body composition programs, most men notice real improvements: more energy, better focus, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and often a renewed sex drive as well. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or visit RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Denver Sports Snapshot.
Tonight on 104.3 HD2, CSU women's basketball faces Fresno State with pregame starting at 6:30.
104.3 The Fan. We are Denver Sports.
Leading off with a big story of the day, here's The Drive with Zach By and Denver, Colorado's own Phillip Lindsay.
1 hour in the books. Quicker than a New York minute.
Why are you over there giggling?
And you know I'm just having fun with Deion.
Yeah.
Because I see, I can't believe you made that joke.
No.
But I see a lot of other, I can't believe I just spit my coffee out in my car.
So I probably said, keep one eye open. Keep one eye open.
Oh, my God. Oh, man. Well, hey, so that first hour flew by. Sean Payton, real quick, before we get into what we're going to get into here. Sean Payton, scheduled to speak at 2:15. Okay?
Ooh.
That was over 45 minutes ago, now working on an hour.
Yeah.
Any, little conspiracy? Like, where does your head go after being in the league for a half decade? Your coach is more than 45 minutes late to his presser. Something or nothing?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, unless something's up, it's either that the coach had to use the bathroom, go dookie, and it's taking some time to come back, or maybe he's just not a happy camper right now. Practice didn't go well, so before he goes up to the podium, he wants to clear his mind. No telling what's going on. I mean, it's a weird situation where you've been practicing for a week. Now it's time to really get going. You're supposed to be at your pressure. Usually you want to get it done. So you should be the first person there because it's like, let me answer a couple questions, and then let's get out of here so we can get ready to game plan versus Buffalo for third downs. Usually Thursdays are going to be, or Wednesdays, it's going to be a work day. It's going to be a third down day, and then you go from there. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm concerned, but it is a little odd that you have Coach Sean that needs to be there, and you think he's going to start at least 2:30. It's 3:00, and he's not at the podium just yet.
Yeah, interesting.
So maybe they had an off day, and he was upset. You know how he gets.
Oh, we definitely know how Sean gets. I don't know what version of him we're going to get. Is it?
What's the question? What's the question?
Or maybe
Speak up, because you're always here, but you always never make eye contact, never have any questions, but you have a lot to write.
So if we get those,
so good.
If we get that, Sean,
so good,
then we know it was not a good day of practice, specifically for the offense.
God almighty.
Is that crystal clear?
Oh, my
Yes, Coach.
God.
Evan.
This is my favorite, though. This is truly my favorite.
Speak up, because you're always here, but you always never make eye contact, never have any questions, but you have a lot to write.
That is the best ever.
Zach, I don't think you're ever going to get me to ask a question to Sean, man. Truly. I start stuttering. What is he going to – he's going to stutter with me. Like, speak up.
Dude, it can be intense. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it can be intense. There's no doubt about it. Is there anything that you want to hear from Sean today? Just any general point of interest from Sean Payton?
You know, I want to hear Sean say Dre Greenlaw is going to play, that everybody is healthy. I want to hear Sean go up to the podium and say it was a solid day of practice and we're ready to play. Now, of course, he's going to keep it mild. He's going to respect the Buffalo Bills when people talk about the Bills. But we're going to know by his tone. If he's snippety, it wasn't a good day of practice. And we know that the tension is high. All right, there's a lot of pressure on you. You're the number one seed. You've been sitting there for 13 days. People are expecting you to beat the Bills, who are banged up, and only have 6 days to prepare for this game. And so as a coach, sometimes you can overthink things, or you can start to get nervous saying, is my team ready to play? So we're fixing to find out here the tone of Sean's voice. And if it's cool and he's talkative and stuff, it's like, okay, it was a good day of practice. If he's snippety, going at Luka Evans, then we know something ain't right.
Yeah, we'll see. I would imagine the tone is total businesslike. Total businesslike the week of the biggest game around here in many years. I mean, many years. And hey, I can tell you this. We've gone back and forth of, hey, is this the biggest wins in Super Bowl 50? And it's so many different intersections of those conversations. But This one right here is definitively the biggest football game the Denver Broncos have played in since Super Bowl 50.
In the biggest game of Bo Nix's life.
No doubt.
Let me say it again. The biggest game of Bo Nix's life. We're not talking about college football and going far in college football. This is the NFL trying to get to a Super Bowl. You have the number 1 seed. You're at home. Bo has to go to work. Bo has to be Boeing in order for us to win this game.
All right. I said going into the previous commercial break, if the Broncos are going to knock off Buffalo, one essential thing on offense has to flip year over year. And today is a day to we'll cover a lot of ground with James Palmer, but for you and I just sitting down doing this, I want to talk about the run game today. So you look at the dynamic last year in the wild card round. It was about emphatic of a glaring issue that you'll ever see within one singular game. So the Broncos' leading running back last year in the wild card was Javonte Williams, who went for a blistering 29 yards, okay, with no carry longer than 6 yards. On the other side, James Cook went for 120 yards on 10.5 yards a carry. I mean, that is a insane number. Here's the raw numbers when you look at Buffalo's run game, okay? And I want to talk about both here today, Buffalo and Denver. The raw numbers, when you look at Buffalo's run game, tell you that Cook is the NFL's rushing leader this year, 1,621 yards. That is an insane number.
My man was racking up the yards, getting some touchdowns, breaking some tackles, having explosive plays. He's a hell of a running back.
He is a fantastic find in the NFL draft. Those are the raw numbers. The advanced numbers, if you get into this, okay, and I dabble in it, I'm not beholden to it, but I dabble in it. The Bills are ranked number 2 in rushing DVOA, second in EPA per run, and second in ground success rate. And success rate is at gaining 50% of the yardage on first down, 75% of the yardage on second down, and 100% on third and fourth down. I mean, goodness. Buffalo's rushing attack had the time of possession advantage in 14 games during the regular season, the most in the NFL. All right. And last week, they won on the clock against Jacksonville and improved to 12-2 over the last 2 seasons when holding the football for at least 33 minutes. And I think that's a key number to watch on Saturday afternoon. The Bills are 12-2 over the last 2 years when they hold that football for at least 33 minutes.
Control the clock. You control the clock, you control the game, you control the pace, you control the physicality of the game. You wear down a defense. You keep an offensive quarterback and an offense on the field where they start to get lethargic and it's like a buildup for them. So once they get back in there, they don't have any rhythm. So now they're trying to get into some rhythm. If they're not in rhythm and they go 3 and out, well, you're putting another offense that can run the ball back on the football field, and they're taking more time off the clock. That's what the Buffalo Bills did, like you just said, to Jacksonville, which helped them out. It got Jacksonville, who's explosive offensively, out of rhythm. And it put the game back in control of the Bills because they were able to eat up time. They were able, and I know that they weren't able to run the ball necessarily well against the Jags, but they were able to stay ahead of the chains and make the first downs, make it 3rd and manageable, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, pick up the 2 yards, keep the chains moving, control the game. And so that's exactly what the Denver Broncos need to do to the Bills, because the Bills are going to try to do that to the Denver Broncos. Do the exact same thing they did to the Broncos last year. That's going to be their game plan. Knowing that your quarterback is banged up and you don't want to put too much pressure on him unless you have to, they're going to turn around and hand the ball off and see what James Cook can do, see what the offensive line can do. They're going to add another lineman in there and build off of that. And hopefully for them, it's like we get the momentum going, build off of it, get a couple play actions, take some shots, and now you have Josh Allen that doesn't have to do as much of the heavy lifting early, and maybe if they have to use him later on in the game, he's fresh.
Yeah, and that was the dynamic a year ago. They almost, they didn't try to pass the ball in the first half. They didn't. No. And they were A-okay with being in a more of a tight football game and just controlling the game. And ultimately, the longer that game went on, the time of possession really cost the Broncos defense. Now, I want to mention this because this is pretty stark. Last year, in that wild card game, and I didn't realize this until this week. Last year, the time of possession was 42 minutes to 18 minutes.
Ooh-wee.
The worst in any game in the history of the Denver Broncos, going back to at least 1983 when time of possession started to get clocked.
Now imagine being that offense that's just sitting there waiting for the defense to try to get off the field. You're cold. You're ice cold because it's in Buffalo, cold as hell. You finally get out there. In my guessing, if I remember right, there was a couple times where the Broncos went 3 and out.
They did. They had 4 3-and-outs last year.
Buddy, a recipe for disaster. You were waiting 10 minutes to finally get out there. You get out there, you go 3 and out. You put your defense that's wore out, that's physically beat up, back in a situation where they have to try to stop the run again. We can't have that happen. That has to be the Denver Broncos. We have to inflict the pain. We have to bring it to them. Bring the fight. Don't test it out. Throw that first punch. Because the Buffalo Bills are going to try to throw that first punch.
There's no doubt about it. And the first punch that got thrown and landed last year was Denver. They just couldn't hang in the middle of the ring for 12 rounds. Now, when it comes to the Broncos rushing the ball, and actually let me just mention this as well. The Broncos have won, because we were just talking about time of possession, the Broncos have won time of possession in 4 of their last 5 games. And over that 5-game stretch, they've had 7 different possessions that drained 8 minutes of the clock or more. In the previous 47 games of the Sean Payton era, they had just 4 possessions lasting at least 8 minutes long. So it feels like lately, stylistically, the Broncos have been able to have real game control.
Yeah.
I just don't know how serious to take that, considering some of the opponents on the schedule, that it came against the Chargers, with their backup quarterback and a couple defensive players not starting. Kansas City, we know the context of that Christmas night game. Green Bay was impressive. And then the other one was the game against the Raiders that was, hard to watch. So, again, going for your last 5 games and winning the time of possession and having 7 different drives that drain 8 minutes off the clock, more than the previous 47 games combined, is great. I just don't know how believable or translatable that is into this postseason game.
I'm on the other side. I believe that this is who they are. We're always trying to figure out what is the identity of this offense. Well, when J.K. was available, it was the run game. It was like, hey, the identity runs through J.K. Dobbins, getting downhill, controlling the game, having explosive runs that's going to open up the play action. But ever since J.K. Dobbins has been unavailable, it's kind of been the Bo Nix show again, like it was last year, where you have to depend on Bo Nix to make the plays at the end of the game. But for some odd reason, the Denver Broncos are still able to sustain drives, drive down the field, find ways to pick up the third downs because of Cortland Sutton staying ahead of the chain so that it's a 3rd and 2, so that R.J. Harvey, who's running hard, by the way, picks up the 3 yards, and now you kind of restart the chains and you go from there. My issue with the Denver Broncos moving forward is you're going to have these long, methodical drives. I believe that's going to happen because the Buffalo Bills struggle to stop the run. But can you put the ball in the end zone? Can you score in the red zone? If you can do that, all right, now we're cooking with some grease. Now we have an opportunity, and now you're forcing Buffalo to try to drive down the field faster because you're taking up so much time. But if you drive down the field like you have in the past and can't get in the end zone, and now you have to settle for 3 points multiple times, and you have to go against Josh Allen, you are not winning that game because Josh knows how to finish games when it matters the most. He's going to find ways to move down that football field, maybe score a couple quick ones, and you have to be able to fight fire with fire if that's the case. I'm concerned about touchdowns in the red zone, Z.
Touchdowns in the red zone.
You got to get touchdowns in the red zones, not 3 points.
It's been an issue. It's been an issue for really months with this offense, but especially here down the backstretch of the season, it's been a major issue. Buffalo, when we talk about their defense, you have to separate the pass defense from the run defense. You have to. The run defense is one of the worst in the league. Pass defense is one of the best in the league. But the run defense, you'd rather probably have the run defense because if you can't stop the run, you could be just in a lot of trouble in any football game, high school, college, pro, divisional round. The Bills surrendered 5.1 yards per carry during the regular season. Phil, that was 30th in a league of 32. Okay, so only 2 teams were worse at stopping the run. and I went game by game this morning, taking a dive into these numbers. Holy smokes. This is the Buffalo run defense, okay? 238 yards allowed to Baltimore, over 8 yards a carry, 3 touchdowns.
Lamar, Derrick Henry.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
The Jets, were the Jets very good this year?
No.
Still ran for over 100 yards and 5 yards a carry against Buffalo.
Your boy Breece Hall, though.
Yep.
Could have had him.
Yep, there's no doubt. Miami, 130 yards over 5 yards a carry. The Saints, Saints finished strong, but in the middle portion of the season, beginning to middle, they ran for 189 yards on this Bills run defense, 5.6 yards a carry. Atlanta ran for 210 yards on Buffalo, 6.6 yards a carry. Carolina over 100 yards rushing. Miami went for 197 on the ground, over 6 yards a carry, a pair of touchdowns. Tampa Bay ran it for over 200 yards on this Bills rush defense, over 5 yards a carry, a hat trick of touchdowns. New England, late in the season, this is week 14, ran it for 246 yards, 9.8 yards a carry. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 rushing touchdowns. The Browns, down the back stretch of a lost season, ran for 160 yards on Buffalo. And just last week, I watched Jacksonville run for 154 and nearly 7 yards a carry. So the Bills have some advantages in this matchup. Their run defense, that's their mortality.
Yeah.
You can pierce that team and change this game by effectively running the football. I just don't know if the Broncos are going to be able to do it because I question their run game.
Well, I'll say this. Those stats, that's crazy. How many yards the Buffalo Bills are giving up, and it's every team. It's every single team that you just listed. But the one thing that these teams are doing that the Denver Broncos must do, they have to have explosive plays. Bijan Robinson was able to bust off, I want to say, like an 80, 90-yard run. All right, Derrick Henry was another one that was able to bust off a 50, 60-yard run. Like, you have to bust off chunk plays because they're giving you those opportunities. Can Jaleel McLaughlin break that tackle and go for 30, 40 to have that explosive play that lights a fire up under the offense? Can someone like R.J. Harvey, who has done it before, we've seen it. It's in him. All right, against the Tennessee Titans was able to bust one for 40 yards. Against the Dallas Cowboys on the toss play, which you talked about and you alluded to yesterday. Hey, the Buffalo Bills, they don't do well with outside zone and toss plays. Well, you have R.J. Harvey against the Dallas Cowboys who takes a toss play to the house for 50 yards and a touchdown. So we're going to need more from our running backs. We are going to need more from Mr. Bo Nix to bust off these chunk plays and these explosive plays so that we can sustain drives and we can force this Buffalo defense to add another guy in the box to ease up Troy Franklin and Cortland Sutton.
All right, here is Sean Payton from seconds ago, his initial thoughts on drawing the Buffalo Bills.
We watched the games during the weekend. There were a lot of good games. Certainly, it was a big win for them on the road. I've got a ton of respect, and I consider Sean a good friend in this profession. You know, he was back with Andy and Philly and the late Jim Johnson, and Steve Spagnuolo, Sean McDermott. Jim was one of the finest coordinators our league's had a few, but he was a special guy, and you could see the impact he's had on these, and I'm not saying younger defensive coaches, but shoot, these guys that were all getting older. A lot of him, have a ton of respect for him, the team, and then you study the opponent, and obviously the quarterback, but all elements of the team differently than, as you sit there and you look at how the Chargers line up and play, front coverage, offense, they're different type teams. We really Sunday night we'd already prepped, and then you're diving into once it's finalized.
All right, so covered a lot of ground in that 61 seconds there. It sounds like they watched the games together as a staff, is what it sounded like.
Yeah.
You hear the respect. I didn't realize that he and Sean McDermott had that close of a personal relationship.
Zach, you got to know your enemies. Like, he knows his enemies from the front to the back, like the back of his hand. Talking about Sean McDermott.
Well, it looks like, they were two ships passing in the night in Philly.
Yeah.
And I remember whether it's hanging out, returning back to my college, a couple years after I graduated, still knowing kids on the team and like having younger kids like, oh, I've heard your name. You kind of connected like that because you share the same space even though you weren't there together. That's Sean McDermott and Sean Payton. So Sean McDermott was an assistant for the Philadelphia Eagles in 2001, and then he became a defensive assistant in quality control in 2002 and 2003. He stayed there through 2008. So McDermott was in Philly for a while, but Sean Payton was also in Philly in 1997, 1998. So there's, and that's just a small, really community.
It's a small community.
And fraternity of coaches. So it feels like, and it seems like there's some mutual respect and history there between these two.
And you should. I mean, unless something happened where you have a disagreement or you just don't like each other, you guys understand, if you're a coach, how hard it is to win in this league, how hard it is to keep your job. And so if you don't have to go against that coach, you're rooting for him. That's why I didn't understand when Sean was taking those shots back in the day at some of these coaches, when it's like, hey, it's a fraternity. Like, you're going to probably need each other. Now, Sean's different. He's been in the league for a while, but, like, you don't want to burn bridges or kind of, like, put one out there that you understand what they're going through.
Yeah, and honestly, who I thought of just now as you said that is Ben Johnson. Way that he handled some of his success this past weekend, and I know there's been a lot of debate surrounding that. Well, we were just talking about the run game, looking at the Broncos and saying, hey, can they stop Buffalo's rushing attack, and can they find a way to run it on one of the worst run defenses in the National Football League, and vice versa. This was Sean Payton moments ago on if Buffalo running for over 200 yards last year had an influence on who they signed in the offseason, including someone like Talanoa Hufanga.
We were looking to improve our team. And, we knew we were playing a real good team a year ago. And so there are a lot of things that we felt coming away from a game like that, hey, we're not there yet. We need to improve. Certainly those are players that help us in that regard. But, we're playing the number one rushing team in football. And it's the runner. It's the scheme. They're very well coached. 3 or 4 of the offensive coaches were on my staff in New Orleans that are there now and doing a great job. So we'll have to be ready.
Even more familiarity.
Yeah.
When you start saying, oh, well, there's 3 or 4 guys there, and you can believe those guys that are in Buffalo that he's referring to are going to empty the clip informationally on what they know and understood about Sean Payton after working with him for a few years in New Orleans.
Yeah, and you know what? I was pleasantly surprised in the offseason when the Broncos went the route of stacking up on defensive players, Dre Greenlaw, Hufanga, right? Veterans that have been there, done that. And what it told me is, okay, keep a strength to strength. Continue to add. You know that you have to have a defense in order to win a Super Bowl. Super Bowls, like me, defense wins Super Bowls, championships, I should say. And I was surprised that they went that route, knowing who Sean Payton is as a play caller, right? An offensive-minded coach, but he still stuck with the defense and made that side of the ball stronger so that we can be in a situation where we're 14-3 because of that.
All right, interesting conversations as we continue to peel back these layers. If you want to react to any of those combos, you can hit us up on the RamosLaw.com text line, 303-713-1043. Could Sean Payton have something up his sleeve on Saturday? Also, Stephen A. Smith picks his side between Bills or Broncos in a kind of hysterical way, and you'll hear it next.
The Broncos and Bills will meet in the playoffs once again. It's the top dogs in the AFC. Will Denver avenge its blowout loss to Buffalo from a season ago? Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. That's RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. We have 5 offices across the Front Range to serve you.
Hey guys, believe it or not, golf season is just around the corner, and that means the newest gear and the latest tech are starting to drop. It's Stoke here from my friends at Embers Golf. If you want to hit the ground running in 2026, now's the time to get dialed in. Book a custom fitting at Embers Golf and experience the newest equipment built to elevate your game. I know, trust me, I got set up last year, and spots fill up fast. So get in, get fit, and get ready to play your best season yet. Get everyone in the family ready for golf season at Embers Golf in Westminster. Embers Golf, ignite your game.
If you are considering sedation dentistry and want to learn more about it, Clarkson Dental can help. When it comes to your health, you want to make sure you know all the details. The highly trained professionals at Clarkson Dental have your answers. Learn more at coloradosedation.com.
Babe, your arms look amazing. Working out is paying off.
Thanks. I just wish my chest matched. No matter what I do, I'm frustrated with my man boobs.
Hey, don't beat yourself up. More than half of men have gynecomastia. It's gland tissue, not laziness. Same thing is happening to my friend Trisha's husband. He went to Dr. Cameron Dastry at Modern Surgical Arts of Denver.
For real? You get good results?
He got great results. Call him, honey.
Call today. They're offering complimentary consultations for the fan listeners. 303-470-3400 or at modernsurgicalarts.com.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Or are they promising you up to 10% growth per year, all for your retirement income? If not, then you need to come to Trajan Wealth. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you have a plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't keep working when you're supposed to be retired, and don't let any financial advisor tell you it's too good to be true. Call Trajan today, 720-204-8100. That's 720-204-8100.
Annuities, not advisory products. DBA Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
When you've been hit by an 18-wheeler, there's 3 things you need to do. First, call the police and get medical care. Second, don't talk to the insurance company alone. And third, call the truck crash lawyers at Berg Simpson Law Firm. Berg Simpson has 50 years of experience holding them accountable and over $50 million recovered after truck crashes. Call Berg Simpson today and let us fight for you so you can focus on healing.
If you've been injured, call Berg Simpson for free now at 303-790-2525. BergSimpson.com. Good lawyers changing lives.
Are you worrying about those upcoming credit card bills after the holidays? If you're a homeowner, there's no better time than now to call American Financing and wipe out that debt. Eliminate the stress and set yourself up for a strong 2026. The Fed dropped rates for the 4th time in December, guys. American Financing can help you access that equity in your home at an interest rate in the low 5s. You heard that right, in the low 5s. That's a much lower rate than the average 20% or more credit card rate. American Financing is saving their customers an average of $800 a month. Guys, that's like a $10,000 raise to start the new year. There are no upfront fees and no obligation to see how much you can save. And they are closing some in as fast as 10 days and even delaying 2 mortgage payments. Call American Financing, Colorado's home for home loans, at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at AmericanFinancing.net. NMLS 182334 and MLSConsumerAccess.org. APR for rates in the 5 start at 6.196% for well-qualified buyers. Call 303-695-7000 for details about credit costs and terms.
HelloFresh makes home cooking nutritious, delicious, and exciting. You excited when you get those freezer-burnt, pre-packaged meals in the mail? I know I'm not. Go to HelloFresh.com to explore plans and menus because nothing hits like home cooking.
This segment on 104.3 The Fans brought to you by Williams Jewelers, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche.
Want to partake in our contest? Check out the rules at DenverSports.com.
Denver Sports Snapshot.
Tonight on 104.3 HD2, CSU women's basketball faces Fresno State with pregame starting at 6:30.
104.3 The Fan. We are Denver Sports.
Every day at 3:30, the drive comes off the top rope to hit you with a 1, 2, 3.
Finally, the Rock has come back to Denver.
Tape your wrists, stretch your spandex, and oil your hair. Here's Zach and Phil with today's 3 count on the drive.
All right, come off the top rope with it. 1. All righty. Could Sean Payton have something up his sleeve on Saturday? Could we see a trick play on Saturday? The way that actually, do you remember the trick play from last year
with
in the wild card round?
No, I don't
That was a
remember.
fake punt.
Okay, yeah.
Ran a fake punt and executed it and got a new set of downs and then actually punted it 4 plays later. But do you think that we could see a real wrinkle up Sean's sleeve?
Zach, I don't think I know there's going to be a couple wrinkles. You have to throw the kitchen sink. You lose, you go home. So in every scheme, no matter if you're in the regular season or in the postseason, you're going to have a couple trick plays up your sleeve. Now, you may not run them, but if you need it to light a fire up under the offense or just to get something going, you're going to have that ready. I believe Sean Payton's going to have a couple of them offensively and then a couple of them special teams-wise because you can make some money on special teams, a couple explosive plays that keep you on the field. So going up against the Bills, we're going to need everything. So some trick plays, I would not be surprised.
There is 100% a trick play coming. And I just don't know what style of trick play. Is it a flea flicker?
R.J. Harvey throwing a touchdown pass.
Yeah, we've been waiting on that one, haven't we?
Yes, and he tried to throw it. Remember, R.J.
Oh,
he got
you're
the
right.
pitch, almost got picked off.
It did almost get picked.
Bo Nix had to become a DB.
That's right. Good memory. Yeah, so I don't know. Is it a fake field goal?
I'm going to tell you what it is. This is what it's going to be in the red zone. You remember Bo Nix' rookie year against the Baltimore Ravens. Bo Nix is going to catch a touchdown pass. It's going to be the Philly special. That's what they call it, the Philly special. Nick Foles won the Super Bowl.
Of course.
New England. That's coming. I'm just putting it on y'all's radar. That's coming.
I remember that game. Didn't that game he become like the first player ever, or I don't know if I have this right, but maybe the first Bronco ever to catch a touchdown pass, throw a touchdown pass, and run for a touchdown?
I want to say it was something like that.
Yeah, I remember having some sort of historical significance. But yeah, man. And then also, you have to be on your P's and Q's from a trick play from Buffalo. With them being a little bit banged up short week, they may be trying to look for some sort of edge, whether it's a fake punt or otherwise. So, yeah, I'm almost convinced from Sean Payton, there's something coming this weekend. There is some sort of trick play coming. Maybe it's Cortland throwing a pass.
Could be.
He's been pretty good at that.
Of them. Yep. Something's coming.
Something is coming. What will it be? We will wait and find out.
1, 2.
All right. Oh my gosh. Stephen A. Smith and Ryan Clark going at it about the Denver Broncos. Hey, did you see this? About who do they have, Broncos or Bills? And this is just, it's classic Stephen A. Smith and Ryan Clark.
I'm so happy for him. I'm very, very happy for Josh Allen that he got a home to go to, because that's where the hell he going next weekend for good. Y'all and just like y'all say, he got me. He got me. Well, guess what? I got y'all on the record, on camera, especially you. Didn't even mention the Broncos. Didn't even mention them.
So here's the
Let me
thing.
tell you right now.
How do you attack Buffalo's defense? You run the football. The Broncos can't run the football. The Broncos can't. Ever since J.K. Dobbins been out, Broncos ain't ran the football well.
Right now.
Do you trust Bo Nix? Do you trust Bo Nix over Josh Allen?
Not over Josh Allen.
Do you believe in Bo Nix?
Hold on. Not over Josh Allen, but I trust him when the game is on the line. I trust him in those situations. I like Bo Nix.
In the fourth quarter, if it's tied, you said, hey, give me Bo Nix.
No. My bad. I'm not saying it's going to be tied in the fourth quarter. Let me be very, very clear. I expect the Bills to be at a deficit, okay, come fourth quarter. This ain't no Carolina, L.A. Rams kind of. No, I don't expect it to be that at all. And you didn't even mention them. I mean, the disrespect. Didn't even mention them. I mean, he said nothing. He didn't even mention the Broncos, the number 1 seed.
The Broncos wasn't in the question.
Excuse me. You put Josh Allen and you said, listen, Josh Allen, and you said the Buffalo Bills are going to the Super Bowl and didn't even mention Broncos. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Didn't even mention the competition. Didn't even mention them. I'm like, that now, even you mentioned who they going against. He didn't even mention it. It's like, where they playing at? The number 1 seed,
He's so distraught. He's like, I can't believe it.
The disrespect.
You should be happy, Zach. You don't like Ryan Clark. You're like, you know what?
I do not like Ryan Clark.
Take that, Ryan Clark.
And Ryan Clark, in his explanation for picking the Bills, like, he literally never even mentioned the Broncos. That's why Stephen A. Smith, like, took much offense to it. That is freaking classic Stephen A. Smith right there.
1, 2, 3.
Man, oh man. After 19 seasons with the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin is stepping down. Wow. We now have the 2 most stable organizations looking for head coaches at the same time with Baltimore and Pittsburgh. This will be the 4th head coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers since the moon landing.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's just ironic, right? You got John Harbaugh being fired. You got Mike Tomlin stepping down, quote unquote, stepping down. Hopefully that's the case, and they didn't force him out, saying, "Hey, we're going to fire you if you don't decide to step down."
Yeah.
Maybe they had a conversation before the season started. The coach Mike Tomlin was like, "You know what? This is my last year." But you have 2 some great coaches in the same division that are not there anymore. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Dante, you got something there behind the glass?
Yeah, and the big difference between stepping down and getting fired is now if a team wants to hire Mike Tomlin, they have to trade for him, similar to how the Broncos had to do with Sean Payton. So it gets a little messy where Mike Tomlin can't probably even be the Ravens head coach if he wanted to, because there's no way that they would trade.
Right, man. What an interesting wrinkle of that conversation. That you'd rather just be fired. But this is where the Steelers sort of get the win as an organization as well. Like, if they want to move on from Tomlin, you could say, hey, you get to leave with your head held high.
Yep.
All right, and you're the one making the call. We get a draft pick if anyone wants you.
I wonder if John declined doing that. Because why wouldn't you give him that respect, saying, hey, let's just call it a step down and moving on because we mutually part ways. Instead, you fire him. Maybe John's like, fire me.
I was just going to say, he's like, no, I'm not stepping down. I want to be the coach of the Ravens. If you don't want me to be the coach of the Ravens, fire me then. I mean, so here's my question. Is Mike Tomlin a first-round pick like Sean Payton was? Is he worth a first-round pick?
Yeah, heck yeah. I mean, just like Sean Payton, his resume speaks for itself. He has not had a losing season. He has been to the Super Bowl twice. Like, why would you not want to pick somebody up like that who's sturdy, who you can count on, who knows how to get to the playoffs, who knows how to get to a Super Bowl? I mean, a first-round pick, if you're going to give it to Sean, you got to give it to Mike Tomlin as well. Now, somebody has to be willing to give it up.
Yeah, but if you're one of these flailing organizations that is rudderless, you need a guy like Mike Tomlin. So if I'm like the Arizona Cardinals, I'd give a first-round pick for Mike Tomlin. Like, you need a proven concept, right? And so, okay, yeah, we'll I don't think the Broncos were super excited to give another first-round pick away. They gave enough with the Russ thing.
Yep.
But they were like, you want to know what? We're tired of spinning our wheels here with hiring first-time head coaches or whatever. Like, we have got to go with a, like I said, proven concept, and it's worth the pick.
So tell me this, because now you can have the trade, and you could trade Mike Tomlin to another team. Can Mike Tomlin decline that and say, I don't want to go to that team? Or does he have to go no matter what?
God, that's a great question. I didn't really think about that.
Because now if I'm Mike Tomlin, I'm like, yo, you're not going to disrespect me. Put me on the Arizona Cardinals, all right, with the ownership group that they have, with the resources that they have, and think I'm going to accept that. I wouldn't do it. I'd decline it and just go and be in the studio.
Yeah,
Call
I think
it a day.
It might be just the rights to the coach. Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, we have to look deeper into that.
Yeah. But very interesting. But the Tomlin era and the John Harbaugh era ending in the same, well, not the same way, but in the same window of time after nearly a couple decades of consistency. Crazy. All right. Something happened last night that was almost shocking to the Denver sports nervous system, and we'll talk about it next.
As the top seed in the AFC, are the Broncos being shown enough respect?
This team can play with anyone. They can play with anyone. So we can't forget this is a 14-3 football team also. So I think some people have forgotten that. But I'm fired up, and I like this team, and I like their chances this week.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
The right financial strategies can make a huge difference, especially if you're nearing retirement. Adam Mueller talks retirement strategies with Mile High Money. Saturday mornings at 8 on Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
How do you stay humble when you're America's #1 wiper blade? That's what we're currently dealing with at Rain-X. Is it even possible to humble brag when you bully Mother Nature like we do? Do we sound too conceited if we keep repeating how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America? No. We'll take a lesson from our wipers and just keep doing our job with humility. As America's #1 wiper blade. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
It's a new year, and Aleve is here to help you keep your New Year's resolutions on track. Whether it's a daily walk, hitting the gym, or spending more time with friends and family, Aleve's got your back. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, Aleve keeps you moving with long-lasting body pain relief so you can chase those dreams and achieve your goals. Don't let body pain slow you down. Keep going with Aleve, because this year is your year. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
So, you're ready to propose, huh?
Yeah, man. She's definitely the one.
What are we thinking about the ring? I got my wife's at Hellsberg. I couldn't recommend a better jeweler.
I could use some help with that.
Man, go to Hellsberg. I had no idea how many details you need to consider. Did you know you can get a natural or lab-grown diamond? I didn't. Figure out what she wants. Trust me, they'll make it happen.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Brandon Stokely here for Colorado's hometown HVAC team, ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Is your heating system struggling to perform and need to be traded? It has never been easier to get a quote for a new heating system. Rocks Heating and Air offers a free online heating and cooling quoting system so that you can quickly and accurately get pricing on a new system. Only at ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
Hey Broncos country, it's Terrell Davis here. It's a new year. It's time to work on a new you.
At Fitness Gallery, we have deals everywhere, up to 50% off. We have the nation's lowest prices on the best equipment money can buy. We carry true treadmills. They are the smoothest, quietest, and best warranty treadmills ever built for the home. Work out on your schedule on the equipment you choose, from the safety and comfort of your own home. Visit one of Fitness Gallery's 7 convenient locations from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins. We have you covered.
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from our patients. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today. and stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition, and it's fully treatable. And at the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past. In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and you'll likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. Your initial visit is only $99. It includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. We have 5 offices across the Front Range to serve you. Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Get ready for every Broncos game with Super Bowl 50 champion Brandon Marshall as he joins the drive every Friday afternoon at 4:45 exclusively on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Thanks to Corwin Toyota Boulder. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. DenverSports.com and the Denver Sports app. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
Something happened last night that was almost shocking to the Denver sports nervous system. We'll get to back to Broncos here in under 12 minutes here.
Kind of made me uncomfortable. Not used to it.
Yeah, so we watched the Avalanche lose a game. Now because they're which by the way, hey, we have to come up with a different phrase than wagon.
Everybody's still in it.
Dude, no,
it's not still in it. Everybody's saying it.
It's being repeated over and over and over and over and over. We have to come. So, RamosLaw.com text line, 303-713-1043. What other name, not wagon, could we refer to when we talk about the Avs on the show?
What's better than a wagon?
So just hit us up. Let me know. Get creative. But I've heard wagon for the 250th time, and I'm like, okay. So no, but seriously, the Maple Leafs beating the Avs 4-3 in overtime. It was the first loss at home since October 23rd. Dude, it's mid-January. This was their last loss was a week before Halloween.
Winning's contagious. When you have the right pieces and you have the depth, you have the 2 goalies, and I know that they're banged up right now, but you have the 2 goalies, the mindset of, hey, cup or bust, it's going to be hard to beat a team like that. So when they finally do get beat at home, we're talking about home ice advantage. That's a true thing now, guys. Take that, hockey guys. I mean, it's uncomfortable, and it's kind of like, damn. I forgot how it feels for the Colorado Avalanche to lose a game.
Yeah, 17 consecutive 17-game home win streak snapped. Now, because they're so elite, they still capture a point, all right, from last night, so all is not lost, certainly. But they came within 1 win of matching the franchise's longest home winning streak, which was set by that Stanley Cup winning team back in 2021-2022. Colorado hasn't lost in regulation at Ball this year, which is just psychotic. 19-0-3. Can't believe that's still a sentence here in mid-January. With the overtime loss, I just told you, 19-0-3 at home. They did maintain a 12-point lead in the Central. And, man, it was kind of bizarre to see. It was 2-2, and I'm watching the game, and I'm like, the Avs are the greatest third-period team I've ever seen.
Yep.
So I ended up live betting the Avs. And, man, I just assumed that, it's got to the point where it's just an assumption. Yeah, they're at home. Tie game, going to the third period. They're going to win. It did not happen, although it came close because Nathan MacKinnon had a shot off the crossbar in overtime that was just like...
It would have ended it.
Oh, right there.
But it comes down to a little puck luck, right? It's like Nate Dogg's, it's there, it hits the crossbar just a few inches to the right, and it's in. It goes in. So, unfortunate for the Avs. But also, I was surprised that the Maple Leafs were able to win this game because they're so top heavy, and he had those guys out there longer than they needed to be on that ice. And it's like, okay, they're going to wear down. And by that third period, we're going to pick up. All right, the Stars are going to be Stars, which they were this game, right? It was the opposite with the Blue Jackets the other day where you had Brent Burns, who had 2 goals, and then another guy that was able to get on the score sheet on the blue line. So 3 of the 4 goals came from the blue line last week. This time, or last game, this time it was the Stars who were able to get on the score sheet, and yet we did not win that game. So obviously there's a couple guys missing that would help us out. Gabe being one of them. Devon Taves is another one.
Yeah,
Come on now,
yeah,
put some respect on that man's name.
Totally.
But no more losing. No more losing, Avs. I don't like it.
Well, every once in a while, it's gonna happen.
No, I don't like it.
Goals last night: Makar, Nelson, Netchus, but MacKinnon. So MacKinnon finished with 3 assists. I can't believe this is true because this is just such an absurd number for where he's at in his career, like age-wise. Last night was the 313th multi-point game of Nathan MacKinnon's career. That tied him last night with Peter Stastny for second most in franchise history. Sakic had a multi-point night 473 times. So I do believe MacKinnon will get there.
Well, you're a betting man.
Yeah.
So the Avs have 10 games left before the Olympics start.
Mm-hmm.
So they have 10 games left. You have Nate Dogg, who's at 81 points. 81 points right now.
Yep.
Do you think that he'll get to 100 points before the 10 games are up, or at least the 10 games before the Olympics start?
So he says he's sitting on 81?
81 points.
With 10 games left?
10 games. You get them assists.
Oh, that's a really good one.
If you're a betting man, what are you doing?
Okay, so what is that averaging a night?
I want to say around 2.
So that's 19 points to go in 10 games. Yeah, so that's that's about 2 points a night. Gosh, that's good, man.
What are you doing?
I feel like a fool doubting MacKinnon that he could get there. But if forced to decide, I'll say he ends up with 99. 99.
99?
2 points a night is hard to do. But that's who. Well, what's he averaging right now? He's got to be close to that right now. So,
I mean, he had 3. He had 3 points last night.
Right.
His fellow teammates, they're going to have to help him out with the assists. But if he can get that done, score a couple goals, which we know he's going to do.
2 points a night is just it's
he's
almost
going to get the 2 points a night.
It's almost unreasonable, like an unreasonable ask. Because right now he's under 2 points a night. He's got 81 points in 45 games. So I don't know what that is. Maybe 1.7 points a night or something like that. I'll say he goes just shy. Looking at it pragmatically, like without emotion, without fandom, I'll say it's just shy. How about you?
I'm going. He's going to make it.
Okay.
He's going to get 100 points before the Olympics start. It's Nate Dogg. There's going to be a time where he has the 3 points, maybe even 4.
Yeah, he does.
The goal, the assist.
We've seen him with 5 point nights.
We've seen it. So I'm going to go with he's going to find a way to do that.
Spivak, behind the glass, you break this tie for us.
I think he gets there for 2 reasons. Number one, one main reason. He's in a scoring race and probably an MVP race with Connor McDavid.
Right.
I think McDavid's got 80 points.
He does.
So he knows he's in a dogfight with his buddy Connor McDavid. And we're talking about 10 games. I mean, you mentioned that 81 points in 45 games so far this year. That's just under 2 points a game.
Right.
He's got 19 points to go. I think he gets there.
Man. Ooh-wee. Yeah, we'll see. And if it's close, like for the Hart Trophy, and it comes down to like, if it's close for the Hart, and I don't know what the odds are right now, but if it's close for the Hart between someone like MacKinnon and McDavid, it should go to MacKinnon because he produces goals at a higher rate than McDavid. McDavid is just a tick better of an assister, but the way that assists work in hockey, like you can be credited with an assist when you watch the play. You're like, okay, I get it, but putting the puck in the back of the net should hold higher value when 2 assists can be given out on any particular goal. So that's my opinion. Drew, you have the odds right now for Hart?
I do. Nathan MacKinnon is a heavy favorite. He's minus 300 to win the Hart right now.
Wow.
McDavid's actually not even number 2.
Wow.
Macklin Celebrini.
Celebrini from the Sharks.
From the Sharks. And he's plus 400.
Wow. So that's a huge delta between those two.
Yeah.
Wow.
McDavid is plus 450.
Wow.
Man.
Wow. Okay.
Get those 100 points, Nate.
All right. I love it. All right. Is there a scenario where the built-in advantage for the Broncos backfires against the Bills? We'll talk about it next.
After an action-packed wild card weekend, Bo Nix will go head-to-head with Josh Allen with a trip to the AFC Championship on the line. Broncos country, the postseason has officially begun. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Dan Jacobs with 303 Law 4040. Hey, I got a real cool story I wanted to share with you. Many years ago, my lovely wife Kimberly wrote down a prayer that said, God, make me a lighthouse so I can be a light to others when they're in a dark place. She filed that card away both in her heart and her prayer box. And then about 3 years ago, I asked my wife to leave her job in corporate America and come help me open up 303 Law 4040. And she absolutely loves it. She really feels like helping other people when they are hurting and don't know what to do is her calling. So here's the really cool part. A few weeks ago, a client came in to pick up a check and said to Kim, I really want to thank you. You were a lighthouse to me when I was in a dark place. It gave me chills when Kim told me that. If you've been hurt in an accident, it really is our honor to help you in your time of need. Call us anytime at 303-LAW 4040, where you always get to speak directly with me or my lovely wife, Kimberly. That's 303-LAW 4040. Go ahead, save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. It's 303-LAW 4040.
Between all the holiday parties,
weekend tailgates,
and family get-togethers,
we've been overindulging a little more than usual over the holidays. But now, we are starting the new year off on a healthier note by taking Active Liver supplements from New Nordic every day.
Active Liver contains a powerful blend of turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract, all natural ingredients that help protect the liver so that it can protect you from toxins. It's like giving my body a daily detox. I've never felt better, and my energy is through the roof.
And my doctor is already impressed with how much better my numbers are looking. So if better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
Active Liver is available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com. Or pick some up today at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery. Are now available at Wegmans. New year, new you, new Nordic.
How about a simple New Year's resolution, one that even I could achieve? Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You will feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into those places that have been balding or thinning for years. From Advanced Hair's breakthrough technology to their highly experienced team, there is no one I trust more in hair restoration. Their simple FUE treatment begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day, and your new hair is backed by the Advanced Hair Guarantee. I know from personal experience, Advanced Hair's exceptional standard of care makes your comfort and your results their top priority. Celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 720-459-HAIR. That's 720-459-HAIR. Discover what meeting your resolution could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
Who wants the lowest rate for life?
I
do. Everyone does, but it's only U.S. Mortgages. Lock in a low rate today, and if rates fall in the future, we will redo your loan and lower your rate without any lender fees, including the appraisal. There's no limit to the number of times you can do this. Always have the lowest rate for life. Get our 475 5-year fixed rate, 5.89 APR. Call 303-LOW-RATE or online at usmloan.com.
All loans subject to approval and change. See website for complete details. License number 392126.
You'd love new windows, but don't want to pay a fortune for them. I get it. Well, January is a great time of year thanks to Window Nation. Right now, they're more affordable during Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 Windows Free sale. Plus, you could get them with 0 down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. And ask how you could get a pair of Icon Pass 2-day sessions. If you're feeling cold drafts, have trouble getting your windows open or closed, or paying a lot for your heat, it's time for new windows. Don't wait to put an end to your window problems. Visit windownation.com now.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
KKFN and
KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Denver Sports Snapshot.
Tonight on 104.3 HD2, CSU women's basketball faces Fresno State with pregame starting at 6:30.
104.3 The Fan. We are Denver Sports.
You're listening to The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Is there a scenario this weekend where the built-in advantage for the Denver Broncos actually backfires?
See, this is my song right here, Zach.
This one right here?
Man, what you know about this?
What do I know about it? I mean, every word, you can kind of start there.
All right. Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Classic. We'll never go out of style.
No.
We'll never go out of style. So I'm talking about, look, this is an age-old question here. The age-old question is the rest versus rust dynamic.
Yeah.
And I believe that among the biggest dynamics at play this weekend is, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday, the fact that the Broncos have the most time you can have off possible before a postseason game against the Buffalo Bills team going on the road into altitude with the least amount of time that you can have before a postseason game.
Oh, man, that's worse. The worst thing that the Buffalo Bills can have is just not enough time to rest. You know you have the dogs, but then you look to the left and right of you, and you have two receivers that are already out, blew their knees out.
Yeah, Shavers and Gabe Davis, ACLs, both of them.
You got a banged-up superstar in Josh Allen. I mean, it's his foot, it's his knee, it's his finger, it's his head. Damn, what's next?
Yeah. Jordan Poyer, starting safety,
yes.
Pulled his hamstring. He's not going to play this weekend. So, but just turning the coin over, you would want to be the Broncos in this scenario 10 times out of 10. Now, I don't want to reframe this, but considering how disjointed the Broncos offense looked going into this huge layoff, I think it's reasonable to at least talk about or suggest that there could, the time off and the lack of rhythm going into the postseason and then a big stalemate of time, it could work against Denver.
See, if we don't talk about it, we're not doing our job. It definitely could work against Denver. You have a team in the Denver Broncos that don't have a lot of experience. What I mean by that is you go down the list of the players that are on this team. How many of them have been in huge games? Now, a couple have been in playoffs. Hufanga, Dre, Greenlaw, they've been in Super Bowls. But I'm talking about your quarterback. I'm talking about some of these other playmakers, Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims, guys you may have to rely on. Have they been through that fire when you know the pressure is on? And you know what we always say, pressure, and everybody says that pressure is either going to create a diamond or it's going to bust a pipe. But you want that experience. That's something that the Buffalo Bills have. They have the experience. They've been there. They've done that. They've had the heartbreaks of driving down the field with 13 seconds left, thinking that they've won it and going to the Super Bowl. And, not so fast. Kansas City finds a way to win that game. Crazy. So that could work against you. Another thing is you have Sean Payton, who's very smart. Don't overthink things. Don't put too much pressure on you in your offense. You go in there thinking you have to be so creative and kind of disguise things that you end up hurting yourself. And now you have your quarterback second-guessing certain things and not confident in the game plan. It's all about going out there, winning your one-on-one matchups, executing what's called, making a couple plays that are above the X's and O's. And if you can do that with home field advantage, you're going to win this game. But, Z, I fear that the Broncos are going to come out slow. And you don't want to come out slow on a Buffalo Bills team that has already went through the fire this year in their first game, finding a way to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're going to try to throw the first punch. If you're the Denver Broncos, this is not a fill-out game where the first quarter you just fill things out. Because if you start filling things out with a Buffalo Bills team that understands and knows who they are, they know their identity, they're going to beat you. So I hope that Sean has some things up his sleeve. I hope Bo Nix in this offense could get things going. And then, of course, the defense is going to have to be out there humming. Be physical, be aggressive, be like the Jacksonville Jaguars defense and put pressure on Zach Allen.
Yeah,
Or Josh Allen.
And Josh Allen. Yeah, Sean probably tried to recreate some intense practices to keep these guys sharp, but you can't create what Saturday afternoon is going to be like. So I like the fear is that they just start slow. And here's the thing. We've seen that a bunch already when they're playing week to week. So again, 10 times out of 10, you'd rather be Denver in this specific dynamic, but it's worth mentioning at the very least that something like this could happen.
Too much of anything is never good. Too much rest is never good. Playing too much is never good. You want that fine balance. And hopefully Sean was able to kind of get that fine balance during practice, the intensity, the mentality part.
Yeah.
And then the players are so excited that they want to show out for Broncos country. You have an opportunity of a lifetime to have 2 home games to try to get to the Super Bowl. Like, it doesn't get any better than this.
All right, man. We will see how it all shakes out from that dynamic this weekend. Here is Sean Payton. You mentioned that home field advantage. That's another, like, the two things, man, it's right there in front of you. The two dynamics, the rest standpoint, longest break you can have versus the shortest break you can have, and then the home field advantage and the hometown crowd at your back. Sean Payton was asked about getting his wish from last year's wild card round in the postgame where he said we need to get these games at home. Here's Sean from just a few minutes ago on getting his wish in that regard.
We talk about earning seeds and trying to get all edges, and so it was the same way I felt, in that first year in 06 in New Orleans when we lost in Chicago in the championship game. How do we get this game? Now, there's some myths relative to the playoffs. Home field's important relative to the crowd noise, but just look at the weekend we just had. I don't know what the numbers were. I know our crowd will be fantastic. We've got to be ready to play our best game.
Have to be ready to play our best game.
Yeah.
That's a fact. And Buffalo's saying the same thing. Sean McDermott was asked about these Denver Broncos.
Yeah, I'm sure that feels good for them, getting that rest, getting that number 1 seed, and they've earned it. They've got a great team, all 3 phases, very well-coached team, and I have a lot of respect for Coach Payton, and he's done it at a high level, Super Bowl winning coach. So, we're gonna go out there and have to make sure we're rested, through the week as we try and prepare as well on the short week here, and we're gonna have to play better than we did this past weekend in order to win.
We're going to have to play better than we just played this past weekend against Jacksonville, a Jags team who came into Denver and really shocked the system, if you will, with how they manhandled the Broncos. McDermott saying, hey, we got to play even better. So, this is
it's the big boy football game.
Yep.
And the Broncos did earn it. They earned the number 1 seed, but now you have to earn the right to continue to be there. You have to go in there, and they're coming to you. So you have to wait for them to get their butts here, and then you have to execute and win this game. You have to earn the right to move on to the next round.
Interesting question on the RamosLaw.com text line, 303-713-1043. If the Broncos win the coin toss, do they accept the football?
In a game like this, with your offense that's stale, I would not. I would defer into the second half.
You would defer?
Oh, definitely. Put the defense on the field first. See what Josh Allen has in store. Can he move? Is he banged up truly? And you go from there. If your defense can start fast, then it kind of gives the offense some confidence. If the defense can start fast, flip that field for you, and so now Bo Nix has to go 50 yards instead of 75 yards, that makes a difference because now in the back of Bo's head is, don't mess this up. If we get a couple 20 yards, we're in field goal range. We can get some points early. So put the best part of your team on the field first. Let them set the tempo. Let them set the tone. And then you get the ball in the second half ready to go.
Yeah, and a chance to maybe even double up.
Exactly.
Double up, try to win that middle 8, man. It's going to be massive. We're going to be joined by James Palmer here just a little bit later this hour at 4:45 for just a full in-depth preview of the biggest football game definitively since Super Bowl 50 that is awaiting us this weekend at Mile High. Okay. I want to talk about another potential advantage that the Denver Broncos could have over the Buffalo Bills, but it's not in between the lines. We'll take a dive into it next.
have the Colorado Avalanche officially put the Central Division out of reach.
The Colorado Avalanche have not only already wrapped up their division, they've wrapped up the West. They are going to be the number 1 seed throughout the entire Western Conference playoffs. Just stay healthy and be ready to go come playoff time, because this thing's a wrap, baby, for the regular season.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach here, and I have got to tell you about one of the most unique spots anywhere, not just Colorado. I'm talking about the Basketball Social House Bar and Grill in Centennial. This place has award-winning food and drinks, and trust me, you have to try the brunch. It's unreal. But what really sets it apart is that it's the first of its kind sports bar and entertainment experience. Guys, literally the only of its kind in the world. And it's right here in Centennial, Colorado. And don't get it twisted, this place isn't just for hoopers. Even if you never touch a basketball, it's an awesome spot to eat, drink, hang out, and catch the game. But if you do want to play, you can book your own private basketball suite with a full court, a lounge, seating area, music, TVs, and more. Perfect for parties, birthdays, or just an upgraded night out. Guys, I have lived this experience multiple times. It is one of my favorite places to be in the world, literally. It's also one of the best places in Colorado to watch big games with what might be the best happy hour in the state every single day from 7 p.m. to close. Guys, you can find them at 7450 South University Boulevard in Centennial, or simply check them out online at thebasketballsocialhouse.com. And because you heard it from me, get half off your first private basketball suite rental when you use the code HALFOFFHOOPS. Trust me, this place is a slam dunk.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, one day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
I am down 60 pounds with SodaWeightLoss.com, and the weight came off naturally. And I'll tell you, having my own nutritionist, someone who is always available by text, made all the difference. It's real support from a real person. That keeps you consistent. SodaWeightLoss.com is the #1 weight loss company in America for client satisfaction and results. Clients look and feel just like I do, 10 years younger. You're moving easier, you sleep better, you get your confidence back, and it is awesome. And with nearly 9,000 plus positive Google reviews, the results speak for themselves. And here's the best part. Join now, and your partner joins for free. You start together, you support each other, and you both get younger feeling, healthier versions of yourselves. Go to SodaWeightLoss.com. That's SodaWeightLoss.com, SOTA weightloss.com. Learn how to eat, what to eat, and when to eat, and transform your life, just like I did with SodaWeightLoss.com. Soda Weight Loss is, say it with me, state of the art.
Let me ask you something. Is your money doing everything it can for you?
I don't know. How would I know?
Is it automatically saving for special events and keeping you posted on its progress? Like at Huntington Bank?
Oh, no.
Is it tracking your spending so you can make the best choices at the mall?
Nope.
Or setting limits on your teenager's debit card?
Definitely not.
Then it could certainly be doing more.
Yeah, sure sounds like it.
Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business.
Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
The Stock Show is a staple of Denver. For 66 years, so is Seatan Motors, Colorado's most trusted dealership. You don't last 66 years by cutting corners. You do it by keeping your word, by treating customers like neighbors, by earning trust, not just asking for it. That's the Seatan way. Always has been. This Stock Show season gets 0% financing and leases under $300 a month on the best trucks and SUVs in Denver. Call, click STHmotors.com, or come by Highway 36 in Wadsworth. Either way, you get everything you want out of a dealership at Seatan Motors.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Spine One. Let me ask you a question. You live with back pain, neck pain? Well, my guys at Spine One, they're an emergency room for back pain with same-day appointments. They'll see you and they'll get the journey started. And that's exactly what I did. Whether it's chronic pain, acute pain, work-related, sports-related, doesn't matter. All you got to do is pick up the phone and start your journey just like I did toward pain-free. 303-367-2225. That's 303-367-BACK. Or as always, you can find them online at SpineOne.com.
What's up, guys? You need healthy options you'll actually crave? HelloFresh brings the flavor with homemade meals that are wholesome, fresh, and always hit the spot. Turn fresh, balanced ingredients into home-cooked meals that are easy to make and taste great. Keep your health on track with GLP-1 friendly options and high-protein meals packed with over 30 grams of protein. My lady is always telling me how I need more protein in my life. From udon soup to hearty chicken pastas, enjoy mouth-watering dishes that spice up your weeknights. Go to HelloFresh.com to explore plans and menus because nothing hits like home cooking.
Stay up to date on the Broncos with our 9 News Broncos insider, Mike Kliss. Presented by Fitness Gallery. Hear the latest from every practice and every game every single week during football season. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan. It's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 104.3.
Game between two really good teams.
Well, yesterday a wrench got thrown into it when the schedule came out because I just assumed that this was going to be a night game.
Yeah.
I just assumed that this was going to be primetime. It's Broncos and Bills.
How could it not be?
And it's the afternoon game. And that's a problem for me because the game starts at 2:30 and at 1 o'clock I'm supposed to be at a middle school coaching my 7-year-old basketball team. So we have to do some more therapy and discuss what I'm going to do there.
Oh man!
In terms of actually going to the game with my ticket,
yeah.
You know, and there's some other dynamics that I'll share. Another Bronco advantage over the Buffalo Bills this weekend should be on the sideline.
On the sideline? What are you talking about? The sideline?
I'm talking about Sean Payton going head to head with Sean McDermott. Now, Sean McDermott's a good coach, okay, and I've been very hard on him because, well, just the natural factors at play. Your team has fallen short over and over and over.
Yeah.
In most of those situations, like you're a defensive coach, your defense is giving up 33 points a game in those playoff losses.
You have a quarterback, a damn good quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. There's no excuses. You have a quarterback, recipe for success. Usually good quarterbacks bring you to the promised land, the Super Bowl. That hasn't been the case in Buffalo.
No, and the primary reason has been the defense and or a crucial McDermott mistake somewhere along the way. Sean Payton should be a definitive advantage over Buffalo's Sean McDermott, right?
Definitely. It's Sean Payton. This is a Sean Payton show. For Sean Payton, he's been there, done that. He has got to a Super Bowl. He has won the Super Bowl, been very aggressive. And even his time with the Saints, when he didn't get to the Super Bowl, there was times where I thought he should have been in the Super Bowl and got cheated out of it, right? For example, that Rams-New Orleans Saints game at the end there should have been a flag.
Maybe the biggest no call in NFL history.
Crazy. Another one where the Saints give it up to the Vikings. The Saints were supposed to go and win it that year. They ended up giving that Hail Mary up to the Vikings, which got Case Keenum here in Denver because of, what they call it, the Miracle?
The Minnesota Miracle.
The Minnesota Miracle. So for Sean, I mean, he's been through a lot. He understands what he has to do. A very smart coach when it comes to the X's and O's offensively, and just as a coach in general, when it comes to like situational football, for the most part, has done a good job.
Yeah, he has. This should be a check mark, on behalf of the Broncos. And coaching matters. It matters a lot. It matters a lot. Can you believe, though, that Sean Payton has only one more playoff win than Sean McDermott? Isn't that something?
It is.
It's happened quick. McDermott has won 8 playoff games. Sean Payton has won 9 playoff games. But in my humble opinion, this is where we see why Sean Payton is an $18 million head coach, second to only Andy Reid, for a moment in time like this.
Now, do you believe that Sean Payton has the upper hand? Like, do you?
Yeah,
believe?
Oh yeah.
Sean McDermott?
Yes. Dude, I said this to you a week or two ago. I think if Sean Payton became the Bills coach when Sean McDermott started in Buffalo, which was 2017, there'd be a couple Super Bowls under Josh Allen's belt if Sean Payton was his coach for this
because
duration of
Sean
time.
knows how to build a team, build a culture. He's also going to put really good receivers. Sean likes those big receivers, by the way. Big receivers that can get open, that have the speed, but also the 50-50 ball capability. So Sean would have definitely paired Josh Allen with a really good receiver because Sean's an offensive-minded coach, and they would have won at least one Super Bowl because of Josh, because of Sean's mind and the culture that he has built and he can build and what he has built here in Denver.
Yeah, it's usually right around now when McDermott becomes the worst version of himself. Drew Spivak, behind the glass, has some numbers for us. If you're prepared to do this now, if you're not, no worries. If you got something else to do. Okay, he's got some numbers for us here behind the glass that I'm curious about this stuff. What do you have, Drew?
All right, we got the wild card ratings for all 5 of the games over the weekend.
Okay.
Let's start with playing our favorite game. Let's see, what was the first game? The first game would be Rams-Panthers, Saturday afternoon.
I will go Saturday afternoon. People are busy.
Yeah.
A lot of Americans are out of the house. I'll say, but it's still the NFL playoffs, I'll say 22 million people watched.
See, I'm going to go lower than that. It's the Panthers. I'm thinking that a lot of people out there thought that the Rams were just going to handle business. I'm going to say 19 million.
Okay. Dante can't play because he already knows some of these numbers.
Okay.
So the final number on Fox was 28 million.
Ooh.
28 million for Rams. Wow.
Yeah.
What's next?
All right, the next would be the night game on Amazon Prime. Packers-Bears, probably maybe the game of the weekend.
Yeah. But it was on Prime.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone has Prime.
You're trying to trick us, Drew. Putting that in there.
Really slow starting game for the Bears. I mean, obviously the fourth quarter was electric, scoring 25 points. Gosh, but it's still the NFL.
That's what I'm saying. It's a playoff game.
I'll say the first one was 28 million.
Yeah.
I'll do the same number, 28 million, with the reason it's not higher is because it is on Prime.
Okay.
I'm going to go a million higher, right? 29 million. If it was a night game. I mean, you want to see the Bears who haven't been there in a long time. The Packers, they're rivals anyway. So I'm gonna go 29 mil.
You both are a little low, 31-6.
Okay,
probably would have been closer to 40 if it's on Fox.
Agreed.
I mean, that rivalry, that game, that'd have been
100%
highly watched. All right, let's go. First game Sunday morning on CBS. Bills Jaguars.
Man, Buffalo has just printed ratings here in recent years. Jacksonville, not so much. But it's the NFL playoffs, and it's on network television.
Yep.
I'm going to say 34 million people watched. I'll go 33.
Oh, see, I had to write it down. I had 33 as well.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
okay.
33 million.
All right, well, you're both darn close, 32.7.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. We're getting good at this.
You are. All right, let's see how you do with this one. The middle game of the day on Fox, Niners-Eagles.
Gosh.
It's the Niners and it's the Eagles.
I'll say a little bit more just because it was later in the day, and the more that the day goes on, Americans are more coming home. People go to church and go out to brunch. I'll say, what was the Bills, 31?
32-7.
32-7. I'm going to say this one is 33.9 million.
I'm going to go 34.6.
You guys aren't even close. 41 million.
Wow.
An insane number. 41 million people
insane.
for a wild card game. That's wild.
Yeah,
insane.
Come on.
All right, last one of the night. Chargers-Patriots on NBC for the nightcap.
Well, this historically, I talked about this last week, has been the number one time slot for about 15 years. Sunday Night Football. Americans are home on Sunday night.
Yeah.
Which is why you have these long-standing, traditional shows like, Meet the Press and 60 Minutes. They're on Sunday night on purpose. I will go with 44 million Americans watch.
Look, I'm going big or going home. All right, this is the Patriots who haven't been back to the playoffs in a while. All right, you have the Chargers with Herbert and what he needs to do. I say it drove 50 million.
Wow.
I have to go with it.
All right. You guys aren't even close. 28.9.
Really?
Yeah, 28.9. So second lowest number of the entire weekend.
And it was Sunday Night Football.
Why?
My guess would be the Chargers. They're not really much of a draw.
Yeah.
The Patriots are. They're in a major market in Boston. Obviously, the Chargers are in a major market in L.A., but they're like nothing in L.A. So,
yeah, but still, I just thought that Sunday night time slot meets NFL playoffs equals.
Well, and also, it wasn't a very good game. It was probably the worst game of the weekend.
Yeah. Yesterday. Well, you said the weekend.
Oh, the weekend.
Yesterday, man.
And do you have don't you have a college football playoff number?
I do. Yeah. We got Indiana and Oregon from what was that Friday night?
Yeah.
Ended up being a blowout. Take a stab at that one. If
man, I'm gonna go. It was Friday night. I'm gonna go 21 million.
Okay.
Friday night. People are coming home from work. It's Friday, so some people probably got paid, so they're out and about. I'm going to go 17 million.
Feels closer, 18 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 8, wow.
Yeah. And now you counter that with the other game, Miami Ole Miss the night before, which was a much better game, a closer game. That one drew 15.8.
Okay.
Which was down. I don't know where the Peach Bowl compares with the other ones. They didn't post that, so my guess is it probably didn't fare well compared to what it was last year, but yeah, 18 mil.
But Americans love their football.
They do. Love it.
Oh, my goodness. Some of those numbers are Star Wars type numbers.
41 million is insane.
That is insane.
That is and I think they said it was up 14% from what last year's equal was in that time slot.
Yeah, in that time slot. Wow. Well, and that was on Fox. So, wow, just when you think the NFL can't get bigger. Goodness gracious. Okay, we are just a couple moments away from being joined in studio by James Palmer for a full-blown Bills-Broncos preview. But before we do that, last night, Deion Sanders and the CU Buffs were delivered a crucial blow to the program. We'll talk about why coming up next.
Does Sean Payton have a few tricks up his sleeve for the Buffalo Bills?
It is time for you to pull out the bag of tricks. It's time for you to show Buffalo something that they hadn't seen all season long, and even going back to last year with Bo Nix. There are plays, and I believe it's Marvin Mims plays, that you can put out there for the Broncos that Buffalo hasn't seen, and it's to your advantage to do that this week.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
What if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most. That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger. But your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity. Imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply.
This is the story of the one.
As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-771-1300. That's 800-771-1300.
Hey, the cold weather is here. Stoke here from my friends at ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Has another company told you that you need a new furnace? Time to throw in the challenge flag. Rocks Heating and Air offers no obligation, free second opinions. And don't forget about heat pump rebates. They've never been better. Up to $13,500 only at ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
Babe, your arms look amazing. Working out is paying off.
Thanks. I just wish my chest matched. No matter what I do, I'm frustrated with my man boobs.
Hey, don't beat yourself up. More than half of men have gynecomastia. It's gland tissue, not laziness. Same thing is happening to my friend Trisha's husband. He went to Dr. Cameron Dastry at Modern Surgical Arts of Denver.
For real? You get good results?
He got great results. Call him, honey.
Call today. They're offering complimentary consultations for the fan listeners. 303-470-3400 or at modernsurgicalarts.com.
Still haven't filed your taxes? You're not alone, but the longer you wait, the harder the IRS can hit back. Penalties, interest, letters, none of it goes away on its own. At Advanced Tax Solutions, resolving IRS problems is all they do. Whether you're a year behind or 10, their licensed tax professionals can step in fast, stop the stress, and help you get back on track. Don't let another day slip by. A quick call could mean a quick resolution. Contact my friends at Advanced Tax Solutions today and take control of your tax situation before the IRS does.
As the year winds down, Groove Toyota is helping you gear up for the road ahead. And right now, Groove Toyota has stocked over 35 used vehicles under $10,000. Great picks, great value, and perfect for Colorado drivers who want more without overspending. And with Toyotathon in full swing, it's the easiest time of the year to upgrade your lineup with a pre-owned Toyota or another solid used option before the year closes out. Finish the year strong with Groove Toyota.
On Broadway at Inglewood or online at GrooveToyota.com.
Between groceries, travel, and higher prices, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, especially if you're already relying on credit cards to cover the basics. If that debt is piling up, you're not alone. If you're a homeowner, you might have considered reaching out to American Financing, but hesitated because you don't want to give up your low mortgage rate. That's why American Financing created the Smart Equity Loan, a simple, smart way to get your finances back on track without giving up your low mortgage rate. Unlike a HELOC, which can fluctuate with the market, the Smart Equity Loan offers a fixed rate, so you'll have one predictable monthly payment. It lets you use your home's equity to pay off high-interest debt, free up your cash flow, and still keep your existing mortgage intact. There are no upfront fees to find out how much you can save. Call 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at AmericanFinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Men, the new year is here, and if you're like many of us, you're ready to improve your health. But if you're feeling low energy, not sleeping well, or not seeing results in the gym, keeping that resolution can be tough. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if those symptoms sound familiar, we can likely help. They often point to low testosterone, and treating low T is what we do. But this year, we're also helping men go further with 4 targeted body composition plans featuring growth hormone peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more, designed to boost energy, support metabolism, enhance recovery, and accelerate fat loss. With our low T treatments combined with our body composition programs, most men notice real improvements: more energy, better focus, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and often a renewed sex drive as well. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or visit RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Denver Sports Snapshot.
Tonight on 104.3 HD2, CSU women's basketball faces Fresno State with pregame starting at 6:30.
104.3 The Fan. We are Denver Sports.
Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
All right, we're just a couple minutes away from doing a full-blown preview with Broncos Bills with James Palmer, our guy. But also, like, there's other NFL news that came down today. It was just like, wow, Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
So he's tapped into stuff like that. We'll take a dive into all of that stuff. Okay. Man, oh man, Phil, we got to hit the pause button on Broncos for just a minute because I was kind of stunned. And maybe I shouldn't have been, but I was last night when it came down, and I forget what time it was, but it was after we were off the air, when we got the news that Jordan Seatan, former freshman All-American, second team All-Big 12 this past season, the best football player that the Buffs had past tense, is leaving for the transfer portal. He is a projected first-round pick entering his last year. Before jumping to the draft, that's the speculation anyway. He's leaving the program.
Zach, when you sent me that, it was late last night. All right, and I thought, hey, I was letting the liquor talk, and I look up, I'm like, this can't be true. Jordan Seatan, what's in the bag? See,
oh my gosh,
a guy who has advocated that he wanted to be here, that other players should be here. He was on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, trying to get players who are in the transfer portal. One particular, there was an offensive lineman from Ohio State that's in the transfer portal right now. Maybe he got picked up already. But he was telling that young man to come here, be a part of this. And then a couple days later, Jordan Seaton's in the transfer portal. What in the world is going on? So I said that actually on Twitter. I said, what's going on? And of course, a flood of people said, you know what's going on. Why are you acting stupid? You know it's all about the money, NIL, all this, all that. But it's like, okay, but one, this kid's going to make a lot of money as it is. We know that. He's going to be a first-round draft pick. Now, I think he's the top 10 tackle right now that can work his way up to being top 5 if he can stay healthy. That's something that he was not able to do last year, stay healthy. So he's going to make the money. So why are you leaving? You have a young quarterback that I thought you were going to help raise up and protect so that he can do his thing, and now you're leaving because of the money. And now who is left for the Broncos? Who is left to protect Juju?
For the Buffs.
For the Buffs.
Yeah. Gosh, he's their best football player.
He is.
He's their best player. And it kind of came late in the process because the portal is open for 2 weeks. It opened on January 2nd and is closed on the 16th. Now, that's players who jump into the portal. It doesn't mean you have to commit by the 16th, but your name's got to be in that portal within that sort of 2-week period. And, I think that there was initial speculation that he could leave, but then that was kind of quelled when there was no activity. And here we are with, 2 days left, 3 days left in the portal. And now is when he chose to jump. I don't know what changed. Something had to have changed between him trying to recruit other players openly online within the last couple of weeks to here with, 3-4 days left and he's leaving. And allegedly, according to a booster out of the state of Florida, the asking price for his services for this year is $2.5 million.
That's changed. That is what changed. And we all know it's about the money, the NIL money. And somebody out there is willing to cough up $2.5, maybe even $3 million, or hell, maybe even more than that if he's in a bidding war with another team. And that's something that the Colorado Buffaloes, they just don't have.
No.
They don't have the lucrative money to just throw at somebody and say, okay, we're willing to give you $2.5. We need you here, so let's stay. Like, we just don't have that money.
Well, the money's not coming anytime soon. So Deion and the Buffs are going to have to figure it out. Now, I will say, for as much as I have been down on Deion and his approach and the way that he goes about his business, I do like the approach this offseason of reaching down, not up, to the guys who couldn't play at Texas and Alabama, but reaching down to the group of 5 schools and finding guys who can play and are looking at coming into the Big 12 like a promotion and don't need all the money that some of these other guys do. And those are that's proven production. Now, it's not Power 5 proven production, but still, that's the approach that I'd be taking. So I do like the shift, but at the same time, man, this man,
the question now becomes, what's next for Juju? Now, for me, I don't think he's going anywhere this year. Notice I said this year. If Juju goes out there this year and has a hell of a year and it's like the passing's there and the touchdowns and maybe some wins to go with it, and we can't afford him now, then that's when he's going to leave. But right now, Juju is still young, doesn't have enough tape. Nobody's willing to fork up another $1 million because I heard he's still out there getting paid some money, maybe a little over $1 million.
You talking about Juju?
Juju.
Yeah.
So I think he's good. Juju's good for this year. But if he's who I think he is going to be, as long as he's in the right situation,
he's probably gone.
He's probably gone.
So Deion, hey, it's like you're the head coach. You're getting paid over $10 million a year. He's got to figure this out. One way, shape, or form. You got to figure it out because there's no more excuses here. This is year 4. This is the quickest flip era ever, and you're the portal king. So I want to see it.
Oh, look at why are you looking at me?
I want to see it. I'm
he
looking
has
at
to coach. He's gonna have to do a good job of coaching, but it's also hard when you don't have the money. Money speaks in this league now.
Yeah,
I believe we're saying that.
Yeah, but
in college,
you're still like this is your situation. You're gonna have to figure it out. All right, you got the go offense, and your best player just said, "I'm going somewhere else."
Look at you.
All right,
oh, I can't wait, man. We're gonna have to have another segment later on.
Yeah, we will. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, Bills Broncos, the sequel with James Palmer coming up next.
The Broncos and Bills will meet in the playoffs once again. As the top dogs in the AFC, will Denver avenge its blowout loss to Buffalo from a season ago? Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Dan Jacobs with 303 Law 4040. Hey, I got a real cool story I wanted to share with you. Many years ago, my lovely wife Kimberly wrote down a prayer that said, God, make me a lighthouse so I can be a light to others when they're in a dark place. She filed that card away both in her heart and her prayer box. And then about 3 years ago, I asked my wife to leave her job in corporate America and come help me open up 303 Law 4040. And she absolutely loves it. She really feels like helping other people when they are hurting and don't know what to do is her calling. So here's the really cool part. A few weeks ago, a client came in to pick up a check and said to Kim, I really want to thank you. You were a lighthouse to me when I was in a dark place. It gave me chills when Kim told me that. If you've been hurt in an accident, it really is our honor to help you in your time of need. Call us anytime at 303-LAW 4040, where you always get to speak directly with me or my lovely wife, Kimberly. That's 303-LAW 4040. Go ahead, save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. It's 303-LAW 4040.
Hey, what's up? It's Zach here. And if you're looking for your new go-to spot in Centennial, the Basketball Social House is it. Award-winning food and drinks, an incredible weekend brunch, and a brand new sports bar entertainment space where you can catch every Colorado game. Even if you're not playing, it's a great hang. But if you are, their private basketball suites are unreal. Full court, lounge, music, TVs, the whole setup. And because you're hearing this from me, get half off your first private basketball suite rental. Just use code HALFOFFHOOPS. Trust me, you're going to love this place.
founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-771-1300. That's 800-771-1300.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Hey guys, it's Mark Schlereth. I just made one of the best decisions of my life. I got rid of my glasses. I went to Cutarelli Vision and had refractive lens exchange, RLE. I wore glasses for distance vision, but I got to that inevitable point in life where I was always needing those reading glasses just to do about anything, and half the time I couldn't find them. Seeing menus, texting, reading my computer, or studying film, it was a struggle. But now I see the world perfectly, near and far, without any glasses, thanks to Cutarelli Vision RLE, the perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the cherry on top. You'll never develop a cataract. Dr. Cutarelli is Colorado's most experienced with over 90,000 vision correction procedures. You can trust him to know if it's the right time for you and RLE. Schedule your free Zoom consultation at coloradorle.com. Cutarelli Vision RLE, no readers, glasses, or contacts, or cataracts. coloradorle.com.
Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, develops better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. Info at positivecoach.org.
Stay up to date on the Broncos and the latest news from around the league with our NFL insider James Palmer, exclusively on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Mondays on The Rundown with Richie Carney, Tuesday afternoons on The Drive, and Friday mornings on Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, all season long. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan, DenverSports.com, and the Denver Sports app. You're listening to The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
All right, we are on the doorstep. In fact, not on the doorstep. We are walking through the door of 40 consecutive minutes of commercial-free sports talk. And we got our guy James Palmer with us, hanging out with us, has joined us every Tuesday around 4 o'clock through the football season, and he's with us here. What's up, man? You're in studio.
This got me out of my basement.
Yeah.
That sounds awkward, but today has been a bit unique in the NFL landscape, boys. So I actually didn't mind sitting in traffic down 225 because I live the exact opposite spot. I live by Dick's Sport, and I don't want to I'll tell everybody. I live by Dick's Sporting Goods Park.
Yeah.
Right by the soccer stadium. So it's like the exact opposite to here. So I didn't even mind the traffic, though. I was enjoying to get out of my house. I've been sitting there doing shows all day today on every platform about what's gone on.
Well, let's just start there. We have a bunch of time. We're going to take a nosedive into Broncos and Bills, the sequel, but the Tomlin news today, the Harbaugh news here recently, all these openings, just go ahead and give us verbal diarrhea on this stuff.
Yeah.
Or I said diarrhea, verbal. Well, yeah, I guess
no,
verbal
let's
diarrhea.
verbal diarrhea it up. Yeah, let's do that. Listen, Mike Tomlin, this is 4 head coaches since 1969. They have had fewer coaches since 1969 than there's been popes. Like, let that sink in. That is not what happens in that organization. Now, my understanding is that there were some people that had thoughts this would possibly happen. It took a lot of people today, I'm told, by surprise as well. So the people that did have a thought, you would think that an ownership group that's this good and an organization that is a blue, like blood organization does things the right way. So they had already had lists together if this potentially would happen. They had already slight conversations with people if this was possibly going to happen. Are they essentially behind the 8 ball with this happening so much later than the other teams? I don't really think so. In terms of like putting the binders together and all that stuff that, New York had an advantage of with as early as they let go of Brian Daboll. No, like they were still doing some work behind the scenes because for the last couple of years, this was a thought or a possibility. So I think they're right in the thick of things. I think they did already get some slips out and some thoughts about maybe who they'd like to discuss. The John Harbaugh one is very, very different. That was a firing, straight up fired. Over the phone, which is also interesting considering the relationship that Steve Bisciotti.
Oh, is
and
that
John
right?
Harbaugh
He was. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It was over the phone.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, and Steve did a lot of work, and Steve put in. I think he's one of the better owners in football. He listens to his players. He lets his football people do their football thing. I think that's one of the best parts about him. He doesn't meddle by any stretch. There was a great collaboration there between Eric DeCosta and Sashi Brown and John Harbaugh. But I do think the setup there is fascinating for John in his next spot. He only reported to Steve Bisciotti. He didn't report to the general manager. Now he's interested in the Falcons job. I think there's a lot of mutual respect between and relationships, to my understanding, between Matt Ryan and John Harbaugh. But he would be reporting to somebody with no front office experience at all because of the new president of football title that's down there, where the head coach reports to Matt Ryan. Would he be fine with that? He's only reported to an owner during his stretch of time. I think the Giants are probably still the front runner for Harbaugh right now, but I would say it's probably down to the Giants, the Falcons, and Tennessee. There's a lot of these coaches like the Tennessee job. Phil and I were just talking about it before we came on. I think that's a fascinating aspect of this as well.
What's appealing about the Tennessee job?
There's several things. I think there is a lot to like about Cam Ward and a quarterback on a rookie contract. I think there's a lot to like about Mike Borgonzi, their general manager, who was the right-hand man to Brett Veach in Kansas City during all that time, and he's a scout at heart. He knows how to evaluate talent. I think the group he put together with the likes of Dave Ziegler and Reggie McKenzie and these other guys that are there, Chris Brinker's there, it's a good brain trust of how to flip a roster. And there's some young, talented receivers, man. We were breaking down that DK kid who just got the All-Pro for the return specialist this year.
Yeah.
He had more all-purpose yards than anybody in football this year. 4th-round pick. Like they had made some good good plays in terms of draft. And then I think there's not a wife in the NFL that doesn't want to live in Nashville.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And you got a new stadium on the horizon. I think there's some things to like about that organization. So there's a lot up in the air still. Nothing's going to be decided, I would say, until like the 19th-ish time when, a lot of the Rooney Rule stuff has been fulfilled that you can start making a move. But I think John Harbaugh essentially is a linchpin for what the rest of it falls. It's probably him, and then I would guess it's probably Kevin Stefanski after him, and then we see where everything else goes.
James, I'm interested in knowing more about the Mike Tomlin situation in the sense of they mutually parted ways.
Mm-hmm.
One, do you believe that they mutually parted ways, or was this like, hey, let's go off on the right foot, or if you decide you don't want to do that and you want to be the head coach of the Steelers again next year, we're going to have to fire you. And then the other thing is, now that you mutually part ways, if somebody else wants Mike Tomlin, they're going to have to trade for him. So what does that look like?
Yeah, it's fascinating. It is actually similar in some regard to Sean Payton.
Yeah.
It really is. And it could be a very similar path, as a lot of people believe, that Mike Tomlin will go the media route this next year, and I think he'll be outstanding at whatever he decides to do. Tomlinisms will be flying all over the place. It'll be great. I kind of want to see him do games, in all honesty. I want to see a former head coach right out of the game do games as opposed to the studio, to me. But to answer your question, Phil, it does seem like he stepped away. It doesn't. First off, he was never going to get fired there, ever. Even if they were looking to part ways with him, it was always going to be a mutual agreement in terms of that perception, because he's earned that over 19 years, and his streak of 19 years without a losing season will probably never be duplicated in the history of this league. I do think his mediocrity of late is a product of the way the NFL is built. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
the NFL is built for the teams that bottom out to find their way back towards the middle. He never bottoms out, so he can't get the quarterback. He can't find his way back to getting prominent players. He's picking in the middle constantly. It's almost like the way the league is designed to make sure there's this parity actually hurt Mike Tomlin from finding a way to get a winning season every year. It's fascinating in that sense.
Are you hearing anything, and this may come across as a crazy notion. I don't know how crazy it is, though. Kurt Signetti. Is his name in any way, shape, or form? I've seen fans suggest it. I haven't seen any reporting on it. He may just want to stay at Indiana, but what he has done in a short period of time, he's from Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. I wonder if a name like that could be an against the grain candidate.
Yeah, I think You know, Zach, I don't see the Steelers being an organization that goes against their grain. Right, I see the Ravens being a team that looks to go outside the box, a team that doesn't always go by the mold. I mean, 18 years ago they hired a special teams coordinator, which nobody does, and so I could see the Ravens going after somebody different. I think Davis Webb plays a factor in some of this stuff as well. I think in Vegas there's a possibility he could land there. I think there's people that are curious about him, man, around the league just because of what Davis brings, and those are kind of like sometimes the wrinkle that you may need to do. If you're Vegas, you may need to do that. You may not have the ability to lure some of these other guys because of the openings that are there. With Cignetti, like, it just doesn't seem to, in my opinion, fit what the Steelers are usually doing. What do? They've been very open, the Rooney family, into how they go about business. Now, this is going to be Art doing this search for the first time. So we don't know really exactly what he wants to do. But as a family, they've always looked for a younger, maybe, I wouldn't say off the radar, but Mike Tomlin was the very last interview they did 19 years ago.
Interesting.
It was the last interview. And so it wasn't like he was a front runner in coaching cycles. I would see them loving to stick with going on the defensive side of the ball, going younger because their plan is always to hire a coach for the next 15 years. Would that be Jesse Mentor? That kind of checks that box.
Yeah.
Would it be one of those type of coaches? Chris Shula? I think it checks that type of box. I don't know if Cignetti kind of like works into that mold of what you're used to seeing what Pittsburgh and how they build it.
Now, James, you brought up passing Davis Webb.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think it's interesting because it's like, why does Davis Webb's name continue to come up when he hasn't even been an offensive coordinator yet? We don't know what he looks like when there's pressure put on him to call plays, but yet people want him to become a head coach and maybe the Raiders and take over an organization when he hasn't even done the little things yet. To me, it's like, would you be surprised if Davis Webb gets a job from like the Raiders before someone like VJ?
I wouldn't be shocked considering we have 9 openings. Like, we didn't expect 9 jobs have to be filled.
Dude.
Right? So 9 jobs have to be filled. Yeah. We've had 5 or more every year since 2004. So we know we're usually about that number. But this number has exceeded what we thought. And who knows? I'll get back to VJ and Davis for a second. What if Matt LaFleur and the Packers can't come to a contract agreement? What if they're really far apart on numbers? I think it's very clear what that first offer will be to Matt LaFleur from Ed Policy, their new acting president, who's essentially the acting owner for the Green Bay Packers. What if it's like an embarrassing low offer? That will get out very quickly. And then I think there would be a number of teams that will go, hey, we'll trade for Matt LaFleur.
Sure.
I mean, you look at all the coaches that have coached 100 games or more.
Yeah.
He's got the 11th best winning percentage out of all of them. I think teams would call. And I would think, and just saying this, and I think everybody in that building still thinks Matt's a great coach. I really do. I think they think the world of him. But their argument's going to go, well, you're 3-6 in the postseason. Like, that's going to be Ed's argument. Obviously, this is a negotiation. What if Miami goes or Atlanta goes, because I know Atlanta loves Matt LaFleur, we'll give you 2 first-round picks. Aren't you missing 2 first-round picks from the Michael Parsons deal? You could have those back. You know what I mean? Like, we may not be done. I think everybody's still waiting to see that. But if you want me to answer the VJ Davis question, I would say this. Sometimes you have to go outside the box.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike Tomlin was a DB coach.
Yeah.
John Harbaugh was a special teams coordinator. I think he checks a lot of boxes, though. And I could see Tom being intrigued by him because he has the former player aspect. And it's like, man, I used to be roommates with Patrick Mahomes. I was in the same room as Eli Manning or Josh Allen. But he has like the analytics side as well and checks both of those boxes. And there's also a lacking pool of offensive minds really in this cycle when you think about it. I mean, we could go over them. It's, Mike McDaniel's getting more love than a lot of people thought after he departed Miami. I think that's because we're kind of lacking a little bit in some of these offensive minds. I mean, Kevin is up there for sure, and what he runs is very popular in that Shanahan situation. But
Kubiak in Seattle.
Kubiak, I think, is up there.
I heard
big
his
time.
name.
Clint's name has come around. I could see Clint landed in Miami. Like, I could see Clint, you always try to make these strange connections, right? I've heard some guys really like their interviews and some people like these guys, but it was so early in the process. Well, if I look at Matt Ryan and I go, well, where do you have some of his best years? In the Shanahan system. Well, why wouldn't you want to bring in somebody who runs the Kubiak Shanahan system? A Kubiak. for that matter. And so you always try to make those little type of connections. And I think that's why, like, Clint's definitely a name for sure, but I think Davis actually is more regarded than maybe some people think in terms of being a realistic candidate.
All right, that is some of the moving parts around the NFL. Let's take a nosedive into Broncos and Bills, the sequel. This is KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. We are coming with it, and we are coming for it. It's Zach By and Phillip Lindsay, and we are The Drive. Woo! And we're hanging out with James Palmer here in studio just a couple days ahead of Broncos Bills. We talked today about a couple things, but there should be an advantage on paper when it comes to Sean Payton against Sean McDermott. And Sean McDermott is a good coach, okay? He's got a better regular season winning percentage than Bill Belichick did, right? So there's something to be said for that. But he has consistently fallen short right about now. And his defense usually turns into the worst version of themselves right about now. Sean Payton, while not a perfect coach, at least on paper, doing what he did for 16 years in New Orleans and you talk about a quick flip here in Denver. It's been remarkable what he's been able to do.
He's a great coach.
It should be an advantage on Sunday, Sean Payton over Sean McDermott, no?
I don't think it's as large as people think here in Denver. And I've seen that a lot where people are like, man, this is a massive coaching advantage. First off, you heard Sean talking to the media today. He has an unbelievable amount of respect for Sean McDermott.
Totally.
And the path that Sean has taken. I'm a Philly guy, so I'm a little biased too because Sean's a Philly guy too. LaSalle College Prep.
Well, and Sean McDermott spent a bunch of time with the Eagles.
He's a Jim Johnson disciple.
Yeah, correct.
If you know anything about Sean Payton, the respect he has for Jim Johnson is through the roof.
Yeah, he talked about it today.
It's unbelievable. And he's done it over the course of his career, of the way that Jim has influenced a number of coaches, of guys that were there, and Harbaugh was there, and McDermott was there, and Andy Reid, and all these different guys that have been through Philly. I think Sean is a very, very good coach. I think the Sean in Denver, in terms of these situations, these big moments, the unpredictability of Sean Payton in the postseason is an advantage. I think he zigs when most coaches zag. I think he knows the right buttons to push in the right moments. He knows when, this might be the time to throw just a whoop, let's do a little onside kick here to open the game. Like, there's certain things that Sean brings to the table and that unpredictability to it, which makes him, I think, a successful playoff coach and in big coaches. I think Phil knows it's like in the postseason, the amount of content that you can digest, the amount of film that you can request and ask, the amount of people working in your building to go through all of your tendencies and all your predictabilities and give those spreadsheets to all your coaches, that's where Sean has an advantage because he has a little bit of an unpredictability to him in these aspects.
Now, when you're talking about Sean Payton, what do you think the difference is from Sean Payton, the New Orleans Saints coach, and the Sean Payton of the Denver Broncos? Because when I look at it, like there's a couple of differences, and I don't know if maybe it's just being older, being mature, experienced, and having a younger quarterback than Drew Brees. What would your take be?
Well, first off, I saw on the podium today, and I've been down there for press conferences in New Orleans when Sean was making runs, like, it's the same spicy, like, playoff Sean.
Oh, yeah.
Right? He's a little snippy at the podium.
Yeah.
He's got a little edge to him. I think he loves that about it. I think he loves kind of that swagger of the postseason. I think that part's the same. I think you're right, Phil. I think it's a very different situation at the quarterback spot, and I think that's dramatically different. And I know he's working with a player that I believe plays very different, obviously, than Drew Brees. I think he's a rhythm player. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of rhythm to Bo's game. It's kind of like an athlete or a basketball player in that sense. And Sean's used that analogy to a variety of people I've spoken with about that, kind of basketball feel of Bo and compared to Drew. And so I'm wondering how he is managing this week off, because I kind of feel like Bo likes to stay in a rhythm. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if time off is best for a quarterback that plays like that. And I think Sean knows all of this. I think that's the other difference, is just he's had to coach differently. Like, you know what I mean? It's a completely different skill set, in all honesty, that they're good at. I mean, there's people in that building that think Bo is the best thrower of the football on the run in the NFL.
Well,
on the move.
Well, Davis Webb said that to I think it was the CBS broadcasting team.
Well, there you go. And so that hasn't been a secret in that building for a long time. Okay, well, that's the polar opposite of Drew Brees. So how do I coach this differently? How do I work with this differently? He's had good defenses in New Orleans at times. This defense is different. That's going to change how you coach because of how you can rely on that group. So, yeah, I think there's definitely different things of doing. And he's talked about that year off as we were talking about Tomlin and stuff like that and what he learned and gained and how he wanted to kind of grow as a coach and had a chance to talk to a lot of people that year. And I think that's a big part of this as well.
The rest versus rust conversation is old as time.
Yep.
But for this specific intersection between these two teams, you'd rather be Denver, I think, 10 times out of 10. You have two teams that are playing with one has the longest possible rest that you can have before a postseason game, and the other has the shortest rest that you can possibly have before a postseason game, to the point where Tony Dungy is ranting on Twitter saying, like, this is flat out not fair the way that the league, and I'm not so sure he's wrong about that.
Oh, Kyle Shanahan was preaching it at the podium at Lincoln Financial Field. He's like, we better be playing on Sunday. Well, they're not. But he was like, he's losing half his team again in a game, and Kyle's going like, we better get another day. We're traveling from Philly back to San Fran. Like,
right, and so to a certain degree, I think there's merit to what they're saying, especially if the league already took out Monday Night Football in Week 18 because teams could potentially be playing in the postseason. I don't know why you would recreate that dynamic, but this trip around the sun, it's going to benefit Denver. But I brought it up because that rest versus rust conversation, there's a reason we have it. And I remember working with Stokes saying, hey, we had the first round bye. It was awful. We were disjointed. We were slow coming out of the gate. We broke our rhythm. And now you're talking about a Broncos offense that hasn't had rhythm going into this really long duration of time off. And you can try to recreate the most intense practices you want. It's not going to be what's awaiting this group on Saturday afternoon. And so, again, just to reemphasize, you'd rather be the Broncos 10 times out of 10, but I think it's also simultaneously naive to think that in some ways it couldn't actually backfire a bit on this offense.
It could. Week 18 wasn't great, and you weren't playing starters. I mean, you can't rest everybody. The Chargers didn't rest everybody, but you know what I mean? Like, you were hoping you went into that game in Week 18 and you showed something offensively. You ran the ball well, which is something I think they really, really want to be able to do in this game. You were hoping that you were able to find a rhythm in the passing game, that there wouldn't be any sort of disjointedness in the way that the offense operated. You were hoping for all of that in Week 18. I completely agree with you. I'm looking at, like, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Go ask everybody in that Denver locker room, like, how physical of a team that is.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a physical football team in all three phases. And the Bills just had to go through that on the road. And they lost a number of guys in that game.
They did.
I mean, like,
Jordan Poyer, safety, hamstring, Shavers, ACL. Gabe Davis, ACL. Yeah.
Like, and they're on a short week going to altitude. I think the altitude does play a factor in this.
Definitely does.
I know we obviously here in Denver talk about it, but the number of players that have always come up to me and been like, you live in Denver. Is the altitude like a real thing? Like, they're always curious about it. And then I've had guys that have come on short weeks that I've talked to that have told me on a short week, it's not like I don't have my lungs. Doesn't mean I can't go out there and run, but by the fourth quarter, my legs just don't seem to be there like they usually are.
Yeah.
And if you played as physical a game against like you did against Jacksonville the week before and you're on a short week and this is what you're happening, like, I do think that's an advantage for Denver. I really do. But I do think there's also an aspect to where the Bills go out and gain a boatload of momentum and confidence. We did a show on The Athletic where I was talking about, I think, of any team in week one in the wild card week that gained momentum, I think the Bills gained the most momentum. They won their first wild card game. I think Josh Allen would have been like 3.5 years from being born since the last time they won.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was 1992 AFC title game.
Yeah, was the last time they won a road game. So, like, there's that. And you see where Josh is compared to the other quarterbacks. Let's just say it. It's flat out. It's a point. The other quarterbacks in the AFC that are left, like, they do think this could be our year to do it. I think winning that game in Jacksonville benefits them. But I would rather be in Denver's situation.
Well, James, tell me this then. Why are the Denver Broncos the underdogs in this game? You had 13 days of rest.
Mm-hmm.
It's a home game here with the altitude.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen's banged up. His crew is banged up. You have two receivers out with ACLs. Why are the Denver Broncos underdogs?
Because Josh Allen's the X factor of this entire postseason.
Even banged up?
I watched him banged up and destroy a really good Jacksonville Jaguars defense. Like, I mean, he's got the finger, he's got the knee, he's got the foot. The foot's going to be there no matter what.
Right.
I understand that's not going to change
right.
until the season's over. I just think, you have somebody that can change the course of a game with a throw or a run that you just don't see very often, and you cannot defend. You know, I was talking to a defensive coach that went against him in the back half of this year, and I was just like, well, and you guys have a pretty good defense. What was your take? And he's like, Josh Allen in structure wasn't terrifying, and we didn't go into the game thinking it's terrifying. It's when the play breaks down and your team has to defend the second play is when it's absolutely terrifying. And there's things you can do everything right, and you still cannot stop them. So when you have a player on that caliber, I mean, the throw that he made, 40-plus yards, 37, I think, technically, but where he's standing off the back foot with somebody in his face, looks off his safety, moves somebody at the same. It's one of the 5 best throws he's ever made.
Stupid.
So those things are still happening, even though he's banged up. This guy,
Relax,
I saw a picture on his
Relax.
social media wearing the Bills hoodie, and he's got like the family around him.
Hey, you see how Zach is? He's hyped up right now.
Stupid.
It is. I'm just calling balls and strikes. I mean, what we saw was insane.
We are seeing like somebody that is just very rare. I mean, Sean talked about it today. Sean's like, I met him on a golf course, and I was like, holy, this guy, I didn't know this guy was this
massive.
enormous.
Yes.
He's a massive individual. So everything that he brings to the table, Phil, I think is a part. I don't want to argue with one of the myths that Sean brought up today, but like I also think because he's been in so many massive situations.
Yes.
I was on that sideline in Kansas City where I'm running from sideline to sideline in the final 2 minutes, not knowing if I'm going to interview Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, who's going to win the 13-second game. I mean, Josh has been in all of these moments.
Don't bring it up to Z.
I know, but like he's
PTSD.
been in all the moments. You don't think in any of those moments his heart rate doesn't go up at all? It doesn't. Like I think all of that plays a part in that line as well.
But James, for me, I feel like it's a bit of a disrespect if you're Broncos country, if you're the Denver Broncos, you have one of the best defenses, and you have Josh Allen that's banged up.
Mm-hmm.
He's banged up. You don't know what he's truly dealing with. The foot, my guessing is he may have to have a cleanup job. Usually half the NFL has a cleanup job. But you have the best defense that is getting healthy, 2 pass rushers in Nick Benito and Jonathan Cooper, Zach Allen, John Franklin Myers. I mean, a very aggressive team. And yet they're underdogs. I just don't understand.
I totally agree, but I would say this. There were three teams that were vying for the number 1 seed, essentially. And I think they all really, really wanted it. And I talked to people in those buildings, and they all understood as wide open as this postseason is, getting the number 1 was massive, right?
Truly.
I think if Jacksonville had the 1 and the Bills came in this week to face Jacksonville, I think the Bills would be the favorite. I think if the Patriots were the number 1 and the Bills went into New England this week to play them, I think the Bills would still be the favorites. And I just think that's the way it was going to go with the way this AFC is.
Yeah, and it is that Josh Allen factor because on paper, Jacksonville, better offense, better defense, better special teams, and yet and still. By the way, Broncos are back to being a favorite. I want to say that.
Okay.
So
negate all questions.
There we go.
Well,
delete that segment.
Well, no, because it's
I don't
still
know if you
relevant.
can do that.
Because
I'm new to the studio.
It's basically like because I think it could change again. I think it could change again before kickoff. But the Broncos are now back to being a 1-point favorite, which means professional gamblers saw them getting points. So it was like, okay, we're going to take the Broncos the same way when it opened. People were taking Buffalo.
Do you think it's because, and we know the way that this wide receiver room has been in Buffalo this entire year. Go watch anything that Steve Smith and I did on our show about Keon Coleman. It ruffled a lot of feathers in Buffalo.
Well, it shouldn't, but yeah, go on.
Here we go.
It did maybe when we came out with it. Now everybody just knows we were right.
Right.
Who does Josh Allen trust the most? I'd say
Khalil Shakir.
Khalil Shakir.
Yeah.
That's in the slot. Outside the numbers, I would say it's Gabe Davis. It's why he's back there. And it is Shavers. It's why he was on the field.
Yeah.
Those 2 guys are no longer playing. So in the pass game, Josh is a big trust quarterback. A lot of these guys are big trust quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that didn't play a factor where it's like, okay, now he has limited options that he truly trusts in the passing game. I know he trusts his tight ends, but I'm just like, okay, there's fewer places that he feels like in clutch situations he can go with the football.
Well, I think this is going to be a big middle of the field game with those tight ends, Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, Khalil Shakir working that slot, in which it at times has been historically problematic for the Broncos.
Yeah.
You know, that defending the middle of the field, as it is for a lot of teams. That's not specific to Denver. But the one area where I think that the Broncos have to find a way to take advantage of, and it's a real mortality component with Buffalo that you can pierce, is their run defense. Their pass defense is, I think, really good. And some of the exotic stuff that they do, we'll talk more about tomorrow, but it's really good. But in the run defense, I've watched it since September, and I'll just rattle off a few games. This is defensively what they've given up on the ground. 238 yards to Baltimore. Jets were not very good. They somehow got into the hundreds. Miami ran for 130. Saints ran for 139. Atlanta ran for 210. Carolina ran for 114 while getting their doors blown off by Buffalo. Miami, the second time, ran for 197. Tampa Bay ran for 202. New England ran for 246. A bad Browns team in a lost season in December ran for 160. They just gave up 154 last week to Jacksonville. I'm not saying the Broncos have to put up numbers like, the Falcons running for 210.
Be nice.
But of course,
Yeah.
and if they did, they'll win the game. But they have to find a way. So like this matchup a year ago, the leading running back ran for 34 yards, and the longest carry was 6 yards. That's going to get you beat on Saturday. The Broncos have to find a way because this is the one soft spot, where you can really take advantage of. Now the Broncos' run game hasn't been great since J.K. Dobbins went down, but they have to find a way to unlock their ground game in one way or another. James,
I totally agree. Now Ed Oliver's status, I think, is going to be a big part of that.
Yeah.
I think that changes their run defense a little bit. I mean, they're bad at it. I mean, I would, if I'm the Bills, I'm sitting here going, there's not a whole lot of teams in this AFC that run the ball great that are left. Now, you could say New England, I think they're like a top 10 rushing team. I think some of the explosive plays they've had from, Travion Henderson, I think he's got 4 runs over 50 and things like that, maybe skew some of their running numbers in New England. But nobody left in the AFC runs the ball great. And I think that favors Buffalo quite a bit. I think you have to find a way to run the football. I have to find ways to stick with the run. That's scary going against Josh Allen because you feel like, well, what happens if all of a sudden an explosive comes and we didn't get the most out of it? But I think you need to stick with the run. They know it's an issue with the way they play. I love that you brought up the secondary. I'll be listening tomorrow when you guys talk about it, but those guys make plays. They all make plays. Benford's outstanding.
Yeah.
Cole Bishop's a good corner.
James,
guy in the secondary.
They'll literally, like on Sunday, and not to interrupt you, brother, but like you're seeing them like do some weird flip exotic coverage where Cole Bishop is dropping down and playing corner and Benford's playing safety. Yep. And the pre-snap look is totally different. And then it flips and it's like, because I'm thinking about Bo Nix and I'm like, man, they could kind of get in their bag a little bit in that dynamic.
You're exactly right. And it reminds me of when, because I thought Carolina played their tails off against Matthew Stafford and the Rams, but I remember Stafford after that game in the walk-on match going like, what'd you think they were doing in this thing? He's like, there's nothing I haven't seen, man. He's like, there's nothing I haven't seen. That's not Bo Nix. And that's no slight to Bo Nix. That's Matthew Stafford, most likely going to win the MVP, has been in this league for a long time and probably a future Hall of Famer. There's nothing he hasn't seen. These defenses right now and changing the picture, and when you're in the gun, and I don't know if everybody at home knows this, like when you're sitting in the shotgun, these defenses specifically try to change and time the picture of when the ball's in the air from the center to the quarterback.
Yeah.
Right? Because where do the quarterback's eyes go, Phil?
They go right after the center.
They go right after the center and look down at the ball.
Exactly.
So that's when they try to, and that's when like teams like the Bills in the secondary, ball snap, switch. Then looks at the ball, comes up, completely different picture that they have. And so back to the original question of running the football, I predicted that they would use Trevor Lawrence's legs in that game. And he tried. And I think that was an aspect of it. I think Bo Nix is going to try to use his legs as an aspect of this running game as well.
I agree.
And I think it should be. He's an outstanding athlete. It should be.
Now, James, when it comes to Bo Nix, Sean Payton, do you believe that Sean Payton's going to let Bo Nix just play? Let him rip. Let him go. And we were talking about this in disguising the defenses, and maybe Bo Nix hasn't seen the type of defense that the Bills are going to throw out there, which may lead to an interception. But at some point, if you truly believe he's a franchise quarterback, and if we're going to win this game, it's going to be because of the defense in Bo Nix, you would think Sean Payton's going to let go of his hand and just let it go.
I think if the game forces him to call the game that way, he will. I know Philly just lost, and I know they didn't have a great season offensively, but they've had a ton of success knowing how to play a game. and how to manage a game. I mean, Jalen Hurts, we could talk about the flaws that I think he has within his game and the limitations he has as a quarterback. I think he knows how to win a football game. And I do think there's an aspect of that in this with the defense that Denver has. And you can't turn the ball over in this game.
Yeah.
Like you really can't. And Sean is emphasizing that. You can tell by the way he's speaking publicly.
Totally.
That he's making sure that doesn't happen. So that would, to me, I think feel a little bit contradict that style. But let him go and make plays within reason. Sean schemes guys open, man. There's going to be plays where Sean's going to go, I know he's got this. And if we get this coverage, I know that this guy is going to be open. Sean's that good of an offensive mind. Do those balls get ripped and sent downfield? For sure. I think you have to do it to an extent. But you have a defense that can probably keep you in this entire game, and I don't think you want to give Josh Allen a short field and give that offense a short field. So I think, like, if you're forced into it, I think they have the ability to do it. I don't know if they want to come out guns blazing, and that's what they end up doing out of the gate. But, who knows? I just said earlier that Sean will zag when everybody zigs. So
Sean loves his cue. He loves to throw the ball.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, how about Bo Nix leading the NFL in passing attempts this year? He was 6th as a rookie. And then he is number 1. And I do wonder, I mean, I know Phil just, alluded to this, but, like, when you make the plan for this game, like, what is your plan, how to skin this cat? And how much is on Bo Nix's plate? And will Sean stick with the run? Because we've seen, Sean bail on the run, even when it's having success, and just exactly how much of the responsibility in a Broncos win is going to be put on the plate of Bo. And I can't call it right now, because the one way that you can definitely hurt Buffalo is on the ground. So you're going to have to run it, but Sean, they're going to be throwing that football because it's a Sean Payton offense. And so I can't make heads and tails of just exactly how, the order of operations is going to go offensively for Denver.
I think you try to use, like, Buffalo's been so inconsistent this year. You don't really know which Bills team you're going to play, like, a lot of times this year. There's times where you're going, oh, this is the team that can contend for a Super Bowl. We've seen them as a legit Super Bowl contender regularly the last couple of years. Then there's games where you're like, I just don't see, like, I don't see it. What's happening here? I think part of that is they're slow as a defense. Like, they're slow.
Yeah.
And I would utilize your team speed. That Denver does have some of those guys. How do you use Mims? How do you use different guys that can affect a defense that has some issues covering some ground? I would say that's probably part of your scheme. And that's just, I mean, I'm not saying I'm a football expert, but, like, there are coaches I've talked to are like, the team speed on defense isn't outstanding.
Right.
Like, how can you burn Buffalo in that aspect?
Do you believe that this Broncos team can go and win a Super Bowl?
In this postseason, I do. In this postseason. Because I think the number of people I've talked to across the league have been, there's 8 teams that are like, I think we can win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case every year.
No.
There's not 8 teams that, like, they may tell themselves that, but, like, 8 teams to legitimately say, like, I think we can win this Super Bowl. And so when I talk to these people in these other buildings, they're like, I think we can. Like, and they usually just say, like, look at the parity. Look at any one of these teams can beat any of these teams, any given week. You look at the way the wild card weekend went.
Crazy.
Like, what was it? Like, teams that were leading at the 2-minute warning were 2-3. Like, the home team was 2-3.
Yeah, 4 out of the 5 games heading into last night's game, the lead was taken in under 3 minutes left in the game, already a postseason record, and it happened self-contained in the wild card.
Yeah, and what I told you was before Monday, actually. I forgot about Monday night. I shouldn't have. It was a drubbing.
It's a massacre.
Hey, that Houston team is scary.
Oh,
dude,
man.
It's filthy, man. And you know what's funny? I didn't know that, like, I know Matt Burke, their defensive coordinator, and he took over play calling in their week 4, I want to say. And I didn't think he had, like, I know him, and I didn't think he had head coaching ability. And there's people down there who are like, no, this guy can be a future head coach. I was like, okay. And, like, all they really need, their formula is this. And I've talked to guys on that defense. They play as fast as humanly possible. If anything's put in during the week that slows them down in terms of a little wrinkle or whatever, Matt's like, throw it out.
Take it out.
Take it out. We're just going hair on fire. We cover too well. Our front's too fast. Like, we're just going to play as quickly as possible. And then let CJ make a couple of chunk plays. And isn't that how they've won games? That's
Yeah.
how they've played. It's not like it's a consistently well-run offense.
No, he didn't look good last night, and they win by a
And
million.
all of a sudden,
Yeah.
he chucks 3-4 balls downfield,
yeah.
and all of a sudden, it's like over. That's what they did against the Chargers. It was like 2 right out the gate.
Yeah.
And so like they're a dangerous team for sure, and that defense is outstanding. So like I could see them literally going into New England and win that game.
Totally.
For sure.
Totally.
For sure. Like, tell me a team that's left that you're like, well, I know they don't have a chance.
No, I mean even the Rams this week. I mean, shoot, even the Rams against Carolina, it felt like they were going to lose.
Yeah, that was crazy.
They
that
scored
was
with
crazy.
30-something seconds left. Cody Parkinson to take the lead, but goodness gracious, yeah, it almost feels like NCAA tournament-y.
Yeah, that's a great call. It does. No, it does.
With
Like,
the young quarterbacks, right?
It is.
It's the fresh blood that's in the playoffs.
And that's a great point, Phil, because when you look at all of them, like I think there's a lot of similarities between Caleb and Bo. There could be 3 quarters of just ugh, and then last 2-3 drives you're like, oh my god, you know what I mean? This is unbelievable. Like I mean, he's dead last in completion percentage. Caleb Williams is dead last in completion percentage, but the guy's got 7 games this year. He's come from behind where they're trailing at 2 minutes or less.
Yeah, it is 7.
It's 7 now.
Yeah, which is and you can think about like this. That's 2 more than the Tebow year.
Yeah,
which is insane.
You know what I mean? So I think the inconsistency of a bunch of quarterbacks that haven't played on this stage a bunch. I think after Josh, and it's Josh and
CJ Stroud
and Stroud that's the most experience in the AFC.
AFC, yeah.
I mean, and Stroud's got 5 games?
That's it.
Yeah, man.
That's it.
Great stuff. Love having you here in the studio.
It's nice to see people in person.
I know.
Yes. It was we had like a COVID relationship there.
We did
like
for a long time.
All season. So it is good to see you in the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
Will you go on any other show here moving forward throughout the rest of the week? Our morning show or our midday show?
I'll be on Friday morning with the guys.
Okay. I was going to ask you a prediction on the game. I'll let those guys ask that a little bit later in the
Mike
week.
does like to throw out the prediction.
Do you know which way you're going to pick right now? You don't have to tell us, but do you know in your heart of hearts which way you're going to pick right now?
No, I wanted to get in the locker room for like a day or two this week before I made
get the feel.
Get the feel. Like I wanted to have a couple conversations this week before I thought I'll probably call a couple of people in Buffalo. Like I kind of want to get a more educated vibe because I can see this going either way.
1,000%.
I really can. And I mean and when I say either way, Zach, I can see this thing going like every possible scenario happening. Honestly,
it's gonna be fun. But there's only one right decision. Just remember that. You're making your pick.
Well, man, it's a really fun 40 minutes that just absolutely flew by with James Palmer. Appreciate you coming into the studio, brother.
Oh, I loved it. All my boys are coming to town here. Steve Smith's coming to town for this game. Mike Silver is coming to town for the Athletic and work together at the NFL Network. Silver works the locker room and writes better stories than anybody out there. It's everybody's coming to town. It's going to be. Steve was texting me this morning. He's like, "Is the city going to be hopping?"
Come on,
it's like,
dude.
come on,
yeah. So, all right, great stuff. James Palmer, the one and the only. All right, speaking of this matchup, Sean Payton talking about this from the facility earlier today, and you'll hear from Coach coming up next.
As the top seed in the AFC, are the Broncos being shown enough respect?
This team can play with anyone. They can play with anyone. So we can't forget this is a 14-3 football team also. So I think some people have forgotten that. But I'm fired up, and I like this team, and I like their chances this week.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Febreze. New Febreze Air Mist has 50% more odor fighters and up to 30% more fragrance than the old formula. So now you can take on 100% more stinky odors, like sweaty gym bags, greasy cooking smells, and the after effects of the dog rolling around in something. Just spray, and new Febreze Air instantly restores just clean freshness. Smell you later, odor. Green, happy Febreze. La, 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 la.
Is your money doing everything it can for you? Like automatically pushing more of your money to savings every day?
I don't think so.
Then switch to Huntington Bank. And let's get more from money. Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. That's RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. We have 5 offices across the Front Range to serve you.
Hey Broncos country, it's Terrell Davis here. It's a new year. It's time to work on a new you.
At Fitness Gallery, we have deals everywhere, up to 50% off. Visit one of Fitness Gallery's 7 convenient locations from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins. We have you covered.
Brandon Stokely here for Colorado's hometown HVAC team, ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Is your heating system struggling to perform and need to be traded? It has never been easier to get a quote for a new heating system. Rocks Heating and Air offers a free online heating and cooling quoting system so that you can quickly and accurately get pricing on a new system. Only at ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
Download to see if you qualify for Albert Instant Advance. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription is required for Instant Advance. Please see the Albert app or albert.com for subscription pricing. Subscriptions can be canceled at any time.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? You can get up to a $1,000 advance fast to pay for car repairs, bills, rent, groceries, whatever you need. Plus, Albert can help you find ways to save and give you a custom budget to actually grow your money.
Albert can get me up to $1,000?
Exactly. But they do more than get you up to $1,000. Albert is your financial assistant, helping you budget, save, and spotting you money in a pinch.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code PLAN to get up to $1,000 for your bills, rent, groceries, and more. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code PLAN to get up to $1,000. Use code PLAN to get up to $1,000.
2026 is shaping up to be an amazing year to buy a home in Colorado. If you've been dreaming about getting into your first place, upgrading for more space, or downsizing for a simpler lifestyle, now is a smart time to start planning. And the first step is easy. Get pre-approved. With American Financing, you can get it done in 24 hours or less, so you'll know exactly what you can afford before you start shopping. Rates have been dropping, home prices are steady, and more homes are hitting the market. You could score the right home at the right price and lock in a monthly payment that fits your budget without stretching yourself thin. And unlike renting, every payment you make goes toward your future, not your landlord's. And here's a misconception we'd love to bust. You do not need 20% down. Many buyers purchase with as little as 3% down. So if home ownership is on your 2026 goals list, let's make it happen. Call American Financing, Colorado's home for home loans at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-897-4400. That's 800-897-4400.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy plates, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Denver Sports Snapshot.
Tonight on 104.3 HD2, CSU women's basketball faces Fresno State with pregame starting at 6:30.
104.3 The Fan. We are Denver Sports.
It's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
All right, really good stuff with our guy James Palmer. It's a fascinating dynamic. Whether you're talking about the stuff that we started with Harbaugh and Tomlin and the openings and then sequencing into Bills and Broncos preview, there are so many layers to this one. And I can tell you, like, we are just here on a Tuesday starting to get into these layers. There's plenty more we're going to peel back tomorrow, but just, a fascinating conversation.
Yeah, and this is what it's all about. It's about talking through things, scenarios, what's going on right now for the Denver Broncos, who have a lot of rest, 13 days to get ready for the Buffalo Bills. For the Buffalo Bills, 6 days of rest to come up with a game plan to beat the Denver Broncos, who have a great defense, home field advantage, which is a real thing. You need home field advantage, especially here at Broncos country, being loud. And for the first time in a long time, having a playoff game here, it means something.
Yep, there's no doubt about it. Sean Payton, speaking to the media a little bit earlier this afternoon on if the Bills' injuries magnify the importance of getting that number one seed.
Well, look, the rest is important, but that doesn't. The myth number two is that ensures a fast start. It doesn't. You understand this. We're playing a team that's coming off one of their biggest wins in the last 10 years, and so we've got to earn a fast start and take advantage of the energy, take advantage of the rest, but it has to be done out here. And today was a good start.
Sean was in a myth-busting mode today, apparently, talking about things that are myths that don't actually matter. At one point, he even tried to downplay the home field advantage that the Broncos have. And interesting approach from Sean. I think there's probably a method to his madness.
There's definitely a method to his madness, and it's a young group that he's talking to, a young group of players with Bo Nix, Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims, players that have not been in a situation they're getting ready to be in, where the lights are shining the brightest, where you're 2 games away from the Super Bowl and you just don't have that experience. So what Sean's trying to do is he's trying to hype his team up and let them understand, look, you can have the least amount of experience and still come out on top. You have to trust me. This is where the coaching matters. This is where you have to listen to Sean Payton because he's been there. He's done that. He's won a Super Bowl. This is where his team has to trust what he is doing, and so that they can win this game. And Sean is right. Just because you have that rest does not mean you're going to have a fast start. And for the Denver Broncos, I believe they fear that they're going to have that slow start because of so much rest, Zach, because of so much sitting around thinking, and you can overthink things. You get into this game, you start slow, where someone like the Buffalo Bills, who have already have a game under their belt, upsetting the Jacksonville Jaguars in their house, they're going to try to throw that first punch.
There's no question about it. And I think that, we have to keep in mind that sometimes the things that Sean Payton is trying to emphasize to the media is the same thing what he's trying to emphasize to his team through the media as well.
Like control the media so that when the players are looking and listening to us talk, it's the same exact thing that Sean is echoing to them.
Yes, it's the messaging, and echo is the perfect word to describe it. Here is Sean Payton on if that postseason experience matters a lot.
Myth number 3, postseason experience is important. Obviously, they played in it, but historically, when you go back and look at teams and records and you look at rosters, now there's about 8 of these myths, but you hit one of them. Obviously, being in that environment and it's really the week, it ratchets up. It's different. It's different.
So, again, like you have a head coach telling you experience doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And again, like, do I believe that Sean believes that in his heart of hearts? I don't.
Come on.
I don't.
mean, like take this. Like, look at us. Like, we're radio hosts. What if we were in a playoff with the other radio hosts to try to get to the biggest Super Bowl for radio?
Sure.
But you've been there before multiple times, and I haven't. I'm going to lean on you because I don't know what to expect.
That's life. That's life. And Sean is also someone who says, hey, confidence can only come from demonstrated ability. And so now you're saying you can never have demonstrated that ability and it doesn't matter? Yeah, that doesn't really add up.
No.
But again, Sean is trying to control the message. And he is viewing this stuff through the lens of his team and what he thinks his team needs to hear.
He doesn't want his team having any type of doubt going into this game. He wants them feeling like they're invincible, like they're the baddest mother. Shut your mouth. And that can work, but they have to believe that. And if they believe it and you go out there and do your part and execute, you're going to be in good hands because you are well-rested. You do have an advantage, but you have to believe that.
Well, here's a little bit more from Sean Payton. Luca Evans of the Denver Post asking about Dre Greenlaw. Uh-oh, listen to this.
John, having Greenlaw back for this game, his ability to attack downhill and in the run game, just how big is that and the timing of it for this one?
You want him to attack downhill? Is that what do you know about attacking downhill in the run game? You don't know. All right, that's right. Have him attacking downhill. It's good to have a healthy Dre Greenlaw back in the game. Yeah.
God almighty.
What's going on, Sean?
Dude, Sean is...
He's a bully.
Well, he is kind of a bully.
What you know about attacking downhill?
Dude, come on. We need to play that again. Hold on a second.
John, having Greenlaw back for this game, his ability to attack downhill and in the run game, just how big is that and the timing of it for this one?
You want him to attack downhill? Is that what do you know about attacking downhill in the run game? You don't know. All right, that's right. Have him attacking downhill. It's good to have a healthy Dre Greenlaw back in the game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Dude.
He loves him some Luca Evans, Zach. I think by the end of this, him and Luca are going to have a good relationship, and maybe he sends him a care package saying, hey, I'm sorry for putting you through so much.
If they win the Super Bowl, I'm sure he'll send them something.
What you know about going downhill?
It's so funny, man. Sean can just be...
What's the question? What's the question?
Oh, my God.
Speak up, because you're always here, but you always never make eye contact, never have any questions, but you have a lot to write.
God almighty.
Is that crystal clear?
Hey, Sean.
Evan.
Sean's in his bag, man.
He is. He's in so many bags.
There's like a little story. There was a player that used to play for him a long time ago, and I was sitting there with him, and he got cut by the Saints. He got cut by Sean, and Sean sits down.
Wait, who is this? This is just
a
player?
A player.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep his name out of it.
Yep.
If Sean's listening, he's gonna call that player and give him something. But he had this player that he brings into the office, I guess, and he says, "Hey, look, man, we're gonna let you go." And so the guy wanted a reason why. Like, why'd you let me go? Why did you want to let me go? I feel like I've been balling. And his answer was just a gut feeling, and that was it. Mic drop moment, left. But it's who Sean is. Sean knows what he wants. Sean knows what he wants. He knows how to win. He knows how to build a culture. And he's going to be the same version of himself no matter what.
Wow. All right. God, I can't wait to do this again tomorrow. Seriously, because we have so much more stuff to get into. When we look back at the day, what did we learn today in Denver sports? That's how we'll finish up next.
After an action-packed wild card weekend, Bo Nix will go head-to-head with Josh Allen with a trip to the AFC Championship on the line. Broncos country, the postseason has officially begun. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from
We can be twinsies.
to
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom.
freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here. Guys, ladies, get real about your health in the new year with Synergetics and Low T Center. For a limited time, the men's TRT test is free, and ladies, take $200 off women's hormone tests. Say no to diet trends, questionable online treatments, and deceptive prices from other places. Look for the best. Synergetics and Low T Center are the leading experts. Meet with a real provider, get real medication, and real results. Everyone I know that goes to Synergetics and Low T Center, well, it changes their lives. Walk in, book an appointment online at getmyhealthfix.com.
Babe, your arms look amazing. Working out is paying off.
Thanks. I just wish my chest matched. No matter what I do, I'm frustrated with my man boobs.
Hey, don't beat yourself up. More than half of men have gynecomastia. It's gland tissue, not laziness. Same thing is happening to my friend Trisha's husband. He went to Dr. Cameron Dastery at Modern Surgical Arts of Denver.
For real? You get good results?
He got great results. Call him, honey.
Call today. They're offering complimentary consultations for the fan listeners. 303-470-3400 or at modernsurgicalarts.com.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business
and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Do you want the lowest rate for life? Get our 4.75 5-year fixed. APR is 5.89.
Did you say 4.75% fixed for 5 years?
Yes.
Yeah, I want that, but what if rates fall?
Our lowest rate for life program takes over. If rates fall even as little as 0.5%, we can redo your loan with no lender fees and no appraisal fee and no limits to the number of times used. Only at U.S. Mortgages. Call 303-LOW-RATE or online at usmloan.com.
All loans subject to approval and change. See website for complete details. License number 392126.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Smooth accelerators. When that light turns green, you're off. Like a warm knife through firm butter. Going from 0 to the speed limit in an appropriate amount of time. Sure, your car has horsepower, but your horses prance around as silky smooth as your right foot. Fancy Prancerton. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-771-1300. That's 800-771-1300.
I'm Rob Wilhite of the Wilhite Law Firm. A lot of new firms aren't even from Colorado, but we are. For 47 years, we've known Colorado law, we've fought for our neighbors, and we won for our community. If you've been injured, call 303-GOOD-LAW.
Tune in to Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, Wednesdays at 9:15 to hear ESPN NFL analyst Dan Orlovsky break down Bo Nix and the Broncos every week during football season. Denver Sports, 104.3 The Fan, DenverSports.com, and the Denver Sports app. Denver Sports, 104.3 The Fan presents The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
All right, final segment here on a Tuesday. And friend of the show stops by. Little preview of what's to come. It's the scrappy one, the scrapster, Scrap Peterson. What up, Will?
What up, boys? How we doing?
Scrappy. Doing good. How are you?
I'm great, man.
What's on your mind here?
Man, I loved you guys having James Palmer here in studio. A lot of good stuff. And I think what he said at the very end stuck with me the most. He see this game going any kind of different way.
Yeah.
And when you close your eyes, you really can see all 4 scenarios.
Yeah.
Because to me, there's 4, right? Broncos win easily, Broncos win tight. Bills win easily, Bills win tight. And if I close my eyes, I can really picture all 4. That's what's so weird about this game. I don't have a strong, overwhelming gut as we sit here on Tuesday.
The one scenario that I personally can't see is the Denver Broncos winning in a shootout.
Yeah.
I personally can't see that. Like winning 33-31.
But then again, can you see the Buffalo Bills doing that, knowing like that they're down 2 receivers now? Like, do they have the firepower just to score 30 points? Or are they going to kind of say the same thing? Hey, we don't have the firepower. We have a great run game. Let's control the clock and win 20-14.
Could I see Buffalo doing that? Absolutely, I can. They have the number 1 running back in the league, and I believe the number 1 quarterback in the league. And, they just won 27-24. And 3 mornings ago, we weren't talking about Shavers or Gabe Davis. Like, it's kind of like whoever he has to throw to. He set the NFL record last year of the number of different human beings he threw a touchdown to. In the first year without Stephon Diggs, went and won the MVP. Yeah. So it's like, I could see Buffalo, hanging 31 points on the board. I like with this Broncos offense, I don't know if I can actually envision that. I think it's going to have to be, for a Broncos win, a little bit mucked up.
Yeah.
More methodical, and winning maybe 23-20, 2017, something like that.
Yeah, for sure. But see, I'm still on the opposite side, man. I can't see Buffalo finding a way to put 30 points on the board on the Denver defense.
I don't think that they're going to.
Yeah, but you're saying if it's a shootout, if it becomes a shootout.
There's a scenario where, Buffalo, I just watched them put 27 on Jacksonville. Jacksonville's got a great defense. Number 1 rush defense in the league. Yeah. They took away their superpower, and they still got to 27, so I wouldn't put anything up past Josh Allen personally. How about you, William?
Yeah, I guess the only thing I'd add to that is when I said the 4 scenarios, Broncos big, Bills big, Broncos close, Bills close, to me, Broncos big would be like 20-3. I'm with you. I don't think they're going to score 30, but what if it's just the perfect storm? Josh Allen's on the injury report today, guys, with 3 different injuries.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. Yeah. Everyone else is hurt. The Bills are beat up. Could I see Denver sacking Josh Allen 6 or 7 times?
Yeah.
Him going to the blue tent twice. Him limping off the field.
Yes.
And you look up and it's 20-3 in the fourth quarter? I could.
And we saw that same dynamic in the Houston game. Houston was hunting Josh Allen. Absolutely hunting them. And if the Broncos can rediscover their elite pass rush from, say, like the month of November,
it can be scary.
And that Houston score was 23-19. Could I envision that? Absolutely, I could. But this Broncos defense has to lead the way. This group is fresh. This group they've got some injuries, but for the most part, they need to be flying around, executing at the highest level, and probably having a takeaway, probably having a turnover for Josh Allen, who hasn't thrown an interception in a postseason game since 2022, hasn't lost a fumble since 2022, so he's due for one of those. And, I know he hasn't done it in a while, but we've seen him try to overextend himself at times, and it costs the team. The Broncos can put him in a situation like that this weekend.
Absolutely, and a lot of people think the Bills are the team of destiny, but I promise you the narrative comes Saturday night, Sunday morning, if they do lose, will be Josh didn't have enough help. And this was the end of the road for Josh.
For sure.
You can picture the montage already on NBC of Josh bloodied and battered and bruised, walking off the field, and the analysts going, is he ever going to win the big one? Another road just ended for him in the playoffs. Yeah, it's another AFC West team, this time the Broncos instead of the Chiefs. Like, I can totally picture that. The problem is, I can also picture him running out a mile high with a fist held up in the air, celebrating because the Bills are going to the AFC title
Not
game.
happening, Captain.
And people saying this is his Disney movie, right? This would be Josh's Disney movie. Winning 4 straight playoff games, including 3 on the road in the AFC, that'd be one of the toughest rings we've ever seen.
That's
yet.
cute. This isn't no Disney movie. This is a nightmare for that man. All right, he has 3 injuries that he has to overcome. All right, a ball-hawking defense, a defense that's going to get turnovers, and Sean Payton, who's done it before, baby.
All right.
I love it. I'm just telling you, I can picture the Disney movie rolling on.
Well, I could see both.
Unfortunately.
I really could. That NBC whole thing that you laid out, I could absolutely say, hey, man, Josh lost again.
Yeah.
Man, hey, this time it was to Bo Nix. can he ever, right? It's like, this wasn't Mahomes this time.
Right.
Like, I see the whole framing of it.
Get ready for it.
All right, good stuff. Really fun show. We'll be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock, man. I can't wait to get into some of the subjects that we're going to get into tomorrow as we lift up the hood of both these teams and look underneath for this mega matchup that's awaiting on Saturday. That's enough for us for now. We step aside. It's Denver Sports Tonight coming up next.
Have the Colorado Avalanche officially put the Central Division out of reach?
The Colorado Avalanche have not only already wrapped up their division, they've wrapped up the West. They are going to be the number 1 seed throughout the entire Western Conference playoffs. Just stay healthy and be ready to go come playoff time, because this thing's a wrap, baby, for the regular season.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
All right, fellas. Quick timeout here from the game talk. If your body's moving like it's the fourth quarter, but you're only in your 30s or 40s, something's off. If you're gassed by noon, falling asleep before the late game, or hitting the gym and you still don't feel like yourself, well, guess what, man? Something is wrong, and it's not about your age. It has something to do with low testosterone. And I'm here to tell you that if you're dealing with low T, you need to go see my guys at Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic today, because their treatments work when the pills and herbals fail you. And they have treatments with success rates well over 90%. And some of these treatments can have you last an hour or even more. So what I want you to do is schedule a consult with Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic today. Your initial visit is only $99. And this will include a medical consult with a Colorado licensed medical provider, a T and PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. And here's the thing, gentlemen. If the test dose does not work in the office, your visit is free. They also have 5 locations out there to serve you, so there are no excuses. I don't want to hear it. All right, you can go to Fort Collins, North Denver, Central Denver, Castle Rock, and Colorado Springs. So take back control of your life by going and getting your low T treated. Give them a call today at 720-440-7900 or visit RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. That's RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
The right financial strategies can make a huge difference, especially if you're nearing retirement. Adam Mueller talks retirement strategies with Mile High Money. Saturday mornings at 8 on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Hey Broncos country, it's Terrell Davis here. It's a new year. It's time to work on a new you.
At Fitness Gallery, we have deals everywhere, up to 50% off. We have the nation's lowest prices on the best equipment money can buy. We carry true treadmills. They are the smoothest, quietest, and best warranty treadmills ever built for the home. Work out on your schedule on the equipment you choose, from the safety and comfort of your own home. Visit one of Fitness Gallery's 7 convenient locations from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins. We have you covered.
Hey guys, your boy Steve here today by my long-term buddy Troy Hansford. And if you're thinking about selling your house for any reason, now might be the time to sell, still get top dollar. Believe it or not, my guy Troy is still offering his $5,000 guarantee. What is it, you ask? Well, if you can't sell your house at your price on your timeline that you agree upon beforehand, bam, going to cut you a check for $5,000. Who else makes the offer? Nobody I've ever heard of. And he makes that offer because he continues to spend a ton of money marketing his listings, has about 100 families approved and ready to buy right now. And if for any reason you need to sell right away, Troy can buy your house, all cash, and he can close in as little as 7 days. You have a house to sell, Troy probably has that perfect buyer for you right now, waiting for you to pick up the phone and to call him. Call Troy, get your home sold for the most money. That's 720-900-4433, 720-900-4433. Troy Hansford of RE/MAX Professionals, a Colorado licensed broker. Some restrictions do apply. Want to sell your house? Then call my buddy Troy, 720-900-4433.
Dan Jacobs with 303 Law 4040. Hey, I got a real cool story I wanted to share with you. Many years ago, my lovely wife Kimberly wrote down a prayer that said, God, make me a lighthouse so I can be a light to others when they're in a dark place. She filed that card away both in her heart and her prayer box. And then about 3 years ago, I asked my wife to leave her job in corporate America and come help me open up 303 Law 4040. And she absolutely loves it. She really feels like helping other people when they are hurting and don't know what to do is her calling. So here's the really cool part. A few weeks ago, a client came in to pick up a check and said to Kim, I really want to thank you. You were a lighthouse to me when I was in a dark place. It gave me chills when Kim told me that. If you've been hurt in an accident, it really is our honor to help you in your time of need. Call us anytime at 303 Law 4040, where you always get to speak directly with me or my lovely wife, Kimberly. That's 303 Law 4040. Go ahead, save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. It's 303 Law 4040.
HelloFresh makes home cooking nutritious, delicious, and exciting.
You excited when you get those freezer burnt, pre-packaged meals in the mail? I know I'm not. Go to HelloFresh.com to explore plans and menus because nothing hits like home cooking.
What's up, everybody? It's Cecil. You'd love new windows. I'd love new windows. That's why I went to Window Nation. Why? Because I live in Roxborough. I deal with a ton of wind and cold winter months. Well, that means the higher heat bills. I don't want that. Well, how do you fight that? You fight it with new windows. Right now, Window Nation's buy 4, get 4 windows free sale. You can get them with 0 down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. It's time. Don't wait to put an end to your window problems. Visit windownation.com now. It's windownation.com.
The Stock Show is a staple of Denver. For 66 years, so is Seatan Motors, Colorado's most trusted dealership. You don't last 66 years by cutting corners. You do it by keeping your word, by treating customers like neighbors, by earning trust, not just asking for it. That's the Seatan way. Always has been. This Stock Show season gets 0% financing and leases under $300 a month on the best trucks and SUVs in Denver. Call, click STHmotors.com, or come by Highway 36 in Wadsworth. Either way, you get everything you want out of a deal.